Live from Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, CSI Sportsnet brings to you NCAA Division II baseball action on the ECC Network. Tonight's matchup features the Cougars of Caldwell University and the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Favona, and I am joined on the broadcast tonight by my broadcast partners, Nick Durst, and our first time for our broadcast listeners, our broadcast partner, Sam Whalen.
Yeah, Nick, thanks for having us, of course. My first baseball game of the year. I know you've done all the games so far, so if those are any indication, we're in here for a long night at the ballpark, and we welcome in Sam, one of our great student athletes on the track and field team, to the broadcast, who is pumped up and ready to go as we get first pitch.
Yep, super excited to be here, guys. So we got a foul back right next to our booth.
Just a little bit too close for comfort for us here in the press box, but for the Dolphins coming into this game tonight, guys, another matchup with this Caldwell University team who they faced this past Sunday. They lost both games of that doubleheader against the Cougars, so looking for a little bit of revenge here tonight as the pitcher Ryan Kehoe almost hits Christian Rinnick, the leadoff hitter, with that last pitch. The count now goes to 1-2. But going into this game for CSI, and I'll pose the question for both of you, what is, and I asked this to our broadcast partner Joe Foreman as well this past week on Tuesday, what is this team's mindset now going into tonight's game? You know, you're 2-8 on the year, still a little bit of time away before you go into conference play as Rinnick hits that one into left field, and he's leading on with a single to start off this contest here tonight. But going back to the question I was going to pose, what do you think this team's mindset is trying to get back on track after this rough start to the season?
Well, Nick, it can't be good right now because 22 errors earlier on this season has certainly crushed them. They keep getting some really solid starting pitching, and then from there, it's been downhill with the bullpen. So many games they could jump out to early leads, but they just cannot close them right now. So the mindset, it's fragile right now. And, you know, we take pride on not being a biased broadcast here. But right now, this season could certainly turn for the worst if things don't get going here. I mean, the last time out, they played Caldwell, which was that doubleheader that you called recently on the second. And they came away with 2 losses where they only scored 3 runs in each game, lost 7-3, 5-3.
That one hit into right field. Will that stay in fair territory?
It appears to be foul.
Just goes foul.
So to close that loop there, you're playing the same team here that you just lost narrowly in defeat to the last 2 games. So things could go from bad to worse here and continue to spiral, but the way you played Caldwell was close, so you do have to feel some confidence that you could bounce back offensively and beat them.
Ground ball hit to the mound. Kehoe to short, and Flasher will throw it on to Vigliotti. That is a 1-6-3 double play turn by the Dolphins, just like that, guys. There's now 2 away.
Great defense there by the guys up the middle, and 2 away now. And just to close my thoughts, so yeah, the last 2 games against Caldwell only scored 3 runs. They gave up 7 and 5, but in the last game out, the Dolphins did score 8, so that would have been good enough in those Caldwell games for victory. So the team is definitely probably coming in here with the positive mindset that they can get things going offensively based on their offensive effort the last game.
Leon Lombardi swings and misses on the first pitch for a strike. He's down the count 0-1. And then you mentioned in those games, Nick, you know, the Dolphins in Game 1 especially had the lead late, a 3-1 lead going into the 6th inning. As Lombardi drills that one down the right field line. That one is going to just go foul, looks like. I thought for just a split second that one was going to stay fair and have an extra base hit potential for Lombardi. It just goes foul down the right field line, and I had to catch myself there, guys, because I had a home run. I initially thought it was a home run call this past Tuesday against Georgian Court, and that one hit off the wall, and I couldn't really see it out of left field due to the bright lights they had out in left field, so I had to catch myself just a second on that last foul ball for Lombardi. He's now down the count 0-2 and now make it 1-2.
Yeah, let's keep in mind here, Nick and Sam, very windy outside today.
Yes.
On campus today, almost got blown over walking, and now we're out by the water. It's even worse. You see that flag. The wind is blown out to right field.
As Lombardi swings and misses for strike 3 to end the inning. But if you think about it as well, Nick, it's kind of what we saw on Sunday with these 2 teams, a very windy right field, and that could play a factor into tonight's contest between these 2 teams. Cougars go down in order here in the top of the first. Dolphins coming to bat. We come back right back from this commercial break. And we are back for the home half of the first inning between the Dolphins and the Cougars. Cougars had a leadoff single to start this game, but a quick double play ball retired that leadoff hit, and the Dolphins would get the final out of that first inning as now Ryan Keogh gets a scoreless first. We'll see what the Dolphins now can do here in the bottom half of the first inning as Michael Flashner will lead things off.
Yep, Flashner, the shortstop for this game. With the bat, he's been pretty solid so far, and you can see leading off. Dolphins definitely need a spark. They've lost their last 4 games, and Flashner looking to start things off good here for the Dolphins.
And Sam, of course, you're a student athlete as well here at CSI, so you kind of got a little bit of the mindset of what some of these players might be going through these last couple of weeks and last couple of days.
Certainly, as they're
a leadoff single for Flashner hits that one on the first pitch swinging. So the Dolphins get themselves a leadoff single after Caldwell got one in the top half of the inning, and CSI's got an early base runner.
Yeah, we are coming up on midterms, so mentally I think things are getting a little bit difficult for student athletes. That might explain the little bit of a slide we've seen recently. But here comes Chris Polomeni.
Palomini comes into this at bat, and Sam, if you look at the numbers he's had this season, he's been off the charts for CSI this year. 424,
Absolutely.
2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and of course, we saw the record-breaking season he had last year for the CSI team.
A
So
52-year record.
yeah, stolen base record that had not been broken, as you mentioned, for 52 years, and now CSI has him batting second in the order here today, as Flashner has to go back to first base.
Yep, Polomini went 28 for 28 last season, which is, for me, a track runner's dream if I was ever to play baseball.
And he's off to a 1-for-1 start so far in this young season, but would love to get some more stolen base opportunities if given the chance. He hits that one into right center field. Long run, and it's off to the reach. It's a base hit for Palomini. One bounce off the wall. Flasher's rounding third. He will try to score. The throw from the right field is not in time. Ball bounces away from the catcher. Palomini will go to third base on the throw and will stay there. So Palomini has himself an RBI hit, and the Dolphins have themselves an early 1-0 lead.
That's the speed you love to see from Palomini. 1 triple last year. He's got his first here.
The question's going to be, are they going to count that as a triple or a double and maybe advancing on the throw?
Oh, man, with his speed, I hope it's a triple.
I'm sure he would love that to be the case. Nonetheless, he gets himself an RBI hit. It gives A.J. Vigliotti now an RBI chance right here. Still nobody out in the inning. It's 1-0 as Jared Jacobus, the pitcher here for the Cougars, has found himself into some early trouble. Vigliotti hitting that one foul down the right field line and out of play. And the count evens at 1.
Vigliotti is a guy who hits very well. Last season he hit 306 with 5 home runs. He's currently hitting 308 since the start of spring training this year.
Took a big swing and a miss on that pitch for a strike count 1-2. As our viewers get a second look at that last RBI hit for Palomini, giving CSI an early 1-0 lead, something that they really need in this game. We saw against Caldwell, they jumped out to a lead in that first game against these two teams. As I mentioned earlier, the game got away from them in the later stages. Gave up the second run on a wild pitch in the 6th, and then we gave up the tying run in the 7th on a sacrifice fly. The count now is full 3-2 for the Dolphin first baseman.
You love to see someone work a count like this when you need a spark. It's a great start for the Dolphins.
Dolphins have had some very different approaches so far this young season. As Vigliotti hits that one right to the second baseman. A huge out right there for the Cougars as Sean Brown out at second. Robs Vigliotti of an RBI base hit, and there's now one away.
That's unfortunate. Hard hit ball.
TJ Leno now comes up to the bat. One of our first lefty-lefty matches. We saw Flashner earlier get the benefit of that lefty-lefty matchup. We'll see if Leno could do something right here and try to bring on Palomini from third base and give the Dolphins an early 2-0 lead. Half swing, and he goes for a strike 0-1. So Leno with some heroics as well for CSI this past Saturday against Chestnut Hill. A pinch hit 2-run homer to get the Dolphins a win in that first game of that doubleheader with the Griffins. That one he held on for a ball, count evens at 1. We have a chance. We'll give you Jacobus's numbers so far on this season. This count now goes 2-1.
It's watching those outside pitches and not getting called.
So for Jacobus, this is his first official start of the year, so we'll have to see what his stats were for. Well, actually, no, he is a freshman, so this is his first collegiate start. Has not started yet this year. He's already gotten himself into trouble. And the count now is 3-1 here on Lano. Freshman from Flemington, New Jersey. It's now 3-1 to the Dolphins' second baseman. He hits that one to first. And a good job of the first baseman, James, as he stared down Palomini before stepping on the bag. And now there's 2 away.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 1, Jaden Waterman.
Polomini's great speed there couldn't even score him. It's unfortunate. He loved putting the ball in play with someone on third, but not quite the opportunity they needed there.
That was a good defensive play right there from James, who was in already on the defensive alignment. Made sure to check the runner at third before stepping on that first base bag. It will now be up to Jaden Waterman here with 2 away. Try to give the Dolphins a potential 2-0 lead. He had himself an RBI hit on Sunday against this Caldwell team. We'll have another one right here. He swings and misses right there. Looks like he maybe got a piece of it as well. His count now goes to 0-2.
If you look at the outfield, we got a little bit of a shift going on here with the center fielder shifting to the right a bit with the left fielder in. A little bit of an interesting alignment there from Caldwell.
Playing more towards right center, and that's got to be a factor of the wind. As Waterman's down swinging for strike 3, and that will retire the side. So a good job by Jacobus. He gets out of the early jam that he got himself into. But the Dolphins do strike first in this bottom of the first inning off the bat of Chris Palomini. He gets himself an RBI extra base hit, and now gives CSI a 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the second.
The Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information.
And we are back for the top of the second inning as the Dolphins take an early 1-0 lead off the RBI base hit for Chris Palomini. And Liam James goes first pitch, swinging a slow roller to short. Flasher will have to quickly throw to Vigliotti in time. And just like that, 1 pitch, 1 out to start the top of the second.
Flashner, bottom of the first, flashing the bat, and here he's flashing the leather. Not an easy play there, but he made it look easy, charging in to throw out the runner at first.
Love to see that from Flashner, who has had a little bit of a struggle on the defensive side. He's recorded a couple of errors, but that was a perfect play.
That'll bring up Sean Brown, and he goes first pitch swinging, hits this one into left field. Long run for Waterman and Palomini, and it goes over their head, and one bounces off the wall. Sean Brown is into second base. He has himself a 1-out double.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of hitting. It's also a good defensive play there to keep the runner from advancing to third.
Yeah, between Palomini and Waterman there, 2 of the faster guys on the team, so able to cut that off and limit the damage to a double.
So a chance now here for Devon Cass. Runner in scoring position here early in the top of the second to try to tie this game for the Cougars. We have a chance to also give you Ryan Keogh's stats on this young season as well. He's had a great start to the year so far for CSI. That first pitch misses for a ball, 1-0. For Keogh on the year, this will be his third start of the season. He has a ERA of 1.50. He's 1-0 in 12 innings pitched. He's allowed 10 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 4 walks, and 15 strikeouts. So a very strong start to this young season for Keogh entering tonight's contest.
Yeah, I spoke to him before the year for our season preview as that pitch just swung on a miss. And he was really looking forward to this season. He'd been working hard in the offseason, and he really is just so joyed to be able to play with both of his brothers this season.
And I'm sure he would have loved to have had his brother in this game tonight. We saw, unfortunately, Michael Keogh get injured in the first game of that doubleheader against Caldwell. A play at home plate off the throw from Palomini out in center field to get the go-ahead run, Lombardi out at the plate. But in the process, Keogh injuring his hand. We have not seen him since, unfortunately, so the Dolphins are hoping to get him back in maybe the next couple weeks. And that one in there for strike 3 as Cass is down looking, and quickly now 2 away for Keogh.
Some very well-placed pitches in that at-bat. Just bit the corners there.
So we got the Jimmy Kurtz now with 2 away. I try to bring home that run from second base. Try to knot this game up for Caldwell.
Kurtz is currently hitting .500 this season in 12 at-bats.
Menace against CSI on this past Sunday as well in both of those games against the Dolphins.
And playing here, especially tonight, lefties have huge advantage with the wind blowing out that way.
The 1-0. This is on the outside. Quickly a 2-0 count. That first game against Staten Island, he was 2 for 4 with a triple and 2 RBIs. The big blow, that being in extra innings. That opened the game up to 7-3. That's where Caldwell will take advantage and hold on for that 7-3 victory in the first game of the doubleheader with the Dolphins. As now it's a quick 3-0 count here for the Cougar left fielder.
Not that you would want to walk anyone on purpose, but this might be the guy in the lineup if you do.
That one on the outside for strike 1, 3-1 the count. If you were to walk, Chris Hopp, the catcher, is on deck. It would force an opportunity for the Dolphins to get the throw or get the out at any base. It's now a 3-1 count here. And that one in there for a strike, so back-to-back strikes for Keogh. And he's now a strike away from getting out of the inning.
It's a good fight here from Keogh.
Keogh looking for back-to-back punch-outs to get the Dolphins out of this top of the second. Looks like the runner at second. Here comes the 3-2, and he does get back-to-back punch-outs as Kurtz is down swinging for the final out of the top of the second. Cougars strand a runner on base here in the top of the second. We now head to the home half of the second inning. Dolphins lead this one 1-0.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back for the home second here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. A 1-0 CSI lead. And a first pitch strike right there from Jared Jacobus as he faces the Dolphin catcher J.J. Hunter. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Dolphins here and the home second. Hunter hits that one foul towards the press box and out of the stadium, and the count quickly goes to 0-2.
Hunter coming into this evening, batting .267 on the season, and he has one extra base hit. He is looking to keep the good times going here. Only 15 at-bats, though, so far.
Had himself a nice game against Caldwell as well. His count now goes to 1-2. One of the Dolphin catchers, one of the freshman catchers, I should say, that is behind Keogh on this roster. Get a little bit more playing time with the injuries. The count now goes to 2-2.
Dolphins certainly have a lot of players, that's for sure. So lots of depth here.
2-2 the count here. As Hunter hits that one foul. We also have an update, by the way, Nick, from softball. They've gone final for their final game of the spring games as the Dolphins dropped 6-0 in their final game. So they finished their mark now going in back home. I believe a record of 7-5. That's indeed the case. It'll be 7-5 going back when they face Holy Family in their first game back from Florida.
Not too bad. Obviously want to end the trip with a win. Unable to there, but we know Joe Foreman, of course, our leader, and Coach Joe Cal were down there helping the team out this week, and overall a successful week down in Florida for the team.
It's going to be a quick trip for Joe Foreman as well, Nick. He's going to be going straight to Buffalo. The Dolphins will face Damon University in their semifinal matchup of the ECC playoffs, trying to get to the championship game.
Yeah, both teams, men and women's, going out there, so definitely not going to be easy in the semifinals for the men tomorrow. Women are favored in their game.
Did the batter go Hunter? He did not.
It's funny there, guys, because he thought he won. He was turning around for the bench, but I thought it was very clear. I always make this point that I am an umpire. I thought it was very clear he did not go. And the first base umpire, did agree.
Yeah, you could see it even. I'm looking at a replay from behind, but you could easily see that he was making that turn back towards his dugout. He thought maybe he had gone down looking on that play, but he does get a walk. And Keogh does lay down a bunt, but that one will go out of play foul. So the Dolphins trying to move the runner into scoring position right there. The count goes to 0-1.
Yeah, surprised to see Jack Keogh looking a bunt here as a 1-2 run lead. Probably not going to hold up even with the way Keogh is dealing because he's not going to go 9. But Keogh, one of the better batters on the team this season, also batting .267. And he has 2 home runs and 5 RBIs.
Lays out a bunt again. This one's a good one. It goes to the third baseman, and that'll be a throw to first in time for the first out. So the Dolphins do get the sacrifice and move Hunter into scoring position as we saw the third baseman Cass throw it on to first, and there's now one away.
So, Nick, how do you feel about that? Because Keogh, like I mentioned, he's tied for the team leading home runs, third on the team in RBI. A little surprised they didn't let him swing the bat there.
Yeah, I am too, but I think I'm not as surprised only because I saw a lot of it happen this whole week. You know, I called 2 on Sunday, another one here on Tuesday, and we saw the Dolphins doing that a bunch of times. They would go for some sacrifice bunts. They would also go for some hidden runs in that game. They were trying to play it somewhat small ball-wise, and it was working for a majority of those 3 games that they played. So not as surprised, but now it's up to the bottom half of this lineup as now Vincent Weigel, who's down quickly in the count here, 0-2. It'll be up to them to bring home that runner and Hunter from second base.
Weigel's struggling early on this season, only batting .158, looking to get things going here, looking for his second RBI in the season.
We saw how early on in his Dolphins career he was pivotal with his bat. But has been splitting time here at third base so far in the young season with Anthony Cetera. The count now goes to 1-2. Hunter at second. Jacobus looks over. Comes the 1-2. And Weigel swings and misses for strike 3. So Weigel has recorded the second out of the inning on the punch out. And it's now up to Johnny Bowman with 2 outs to bring home Hunter.
Let's see what he's able to do here. Bowman batting .200 on the season. And no RBI at this point, only 2 hits.
Love to get a third one and bring home that first RBI, and he's got a better opportunity now, as that wild pitch will allow Hunter to move to third base. And now the Dolphins will have the runner on third, so a single easily now would bring home the run here for CSI, and we'll see if Bowman can get that first RBI of the season.
Makes it a little easier for him with the runner moving up.
That one in there for a strike, evening the count at 1. And I think the biggest thing also, Nick, in this spot is if he is able to get on, then it brings the Dolphins back to the top of the lineup as Flashner's on deck. So if they can extend this inning and give their top of the order a chance, that's what they would love to do early on in this game. So the count now goes to 1-2. Great chance here for Jacobus to get that final strike. Get the final out of this inning. Keep it 1-0. Misses on the outside for ball 2. Evens the count now at 2 apiece. Now a 2-2 here to the Dolphin designated hitter. Bowman will hit that one foul. That one will just stay in the stadium and go towards the press box. Towards those suites, I should say, to our right.
Very nice suites here. I have the opportunity to be in one back in September for CSI night at the Ferry Hawks game.
As Bowman swings and misses for strike 3, and the Dolphins go down on back-to-back punch-outs to retire the side. Dolphins trying a runner here in the bottom half of the second inning. We head to the top of the third. CSI leads us 1-0.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Chris Hopp will lead it off here in the top half of the third inning. CSI still leading this game 1-0. Both teams in their last at chance batting had an opportunity to bring home a run, but both pitchers were able to get back-to-back punch-outs to retire the side and strand the runner in scoring position. We'll see it now if 8-9-1 can do it here for Caldwell here in the top of the third. Hopp goes first pitch swinging, hits that one into left center. Palomini will call off Waterman. He will make the play. And once again, it's one pitch, 1 out to start off the third inning.
Good start here for Kehoe, and we'll have a moment. I just want to wish Chris Martinez, the freshman, a happy birthday. Celebrating his birthday here this afternoon. I'm going to assume he's turning 19.
You think maybe he gets a chance to pitch in this game? I think he would love the opportunity if that were the case.
Would be nice to play on your birthday.
That one missed in the dirt for a ball, count 1-0. It's Christian Patino Jr., the center fielder for the Cougars, is up to bat.
Patino Jr. hit .417 through this early season so far, 12 at-bats.
Yeah, it seems as if 1-9 in this lineup for Caldwell has been doing pretty good throughout the entirety of this young season. They're 3-1 on the year coming into tonight's game. Their most recent game, coming against a team that the Dolphins had faced before in Queens College. They won that game 11-8 this past Thursday. This count now goes to 1-2. As I mentioned as well on Sunday, not the last time these two teams will meet this weekend. After tonight, these teams will head to Caldwell University tomorrow for a doubleheader. As Keogh gets another punch out, Pino Jr. down looking. Now there's quickly 2 away. So Christian Riddick now comes up with 2 away. Saw him lead off this game with the base hit. Now coming around to score. We'll try to see if he can get a 2-out rally here going for the Cougars.
Rinnick is another guy hitting very well this year, 375.
That one in there for a strike count 0-1. So a lot of 2-out rallies happening on Tuesday when the Dolphins took on Georgian Court. It seems as if any time the Dolphins or the Lions got into the second out opportunity, had a chance to get out of the inning, both teams would capitalize and would get those rally caps going in that inning and keep extending it and get some runs as well. Count now 1-1 here for Rinnick. He hits that one into left field. Waterman is there. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. As the Cougars go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the third, we head to the home half of the third inning. Dolphins lead this one 1-0.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast. Everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
And we are back for the home third. Dolphins will have the top of the order to lead it off here at the bottom of the third inning. They still lead this game 1-0. It'll be Flashner, Palomini, and Vigliotti. So Flashner lead his Dolphins team with a single. Will come around to score on the Palomini extra RBI, extra base hit. He's down the count here early, 0-1. Showing bunt on that one, and it goes foul. The count goes to 0-2.
This Dolphins team has suddenly become bunt happy.
Well, I've been calling Dolphins games for baseball probably dating back 2019, 18 maybe, and they have always looked to bunt.
That'll be a slow roll to third. And the throw on from third base from Cass is in time as they get Flashner for the first out of the inning.
Flashner got a little handcuff there inside out of that when we're on the ground to third baseman.
So Palomino now comes up here with one away. Dolphins have not gotten a hit since this RBI base hit. 2 hits so far for both teams.
So far, Palomini right here, the whole offense had that big hit into the gap to score the only run of the game.
I'll have the next ask next door if they counted that as an RBI double or triple after that play. Well, I'll ask them the next half inning.
Who's on stats? Is it Stephanie or Lou?
Steph's on the stats today. Lou is PA.
Okay.
But you figure that they both had a hand in deciding what that play was going to be counted as.
I would think so.
quickly here, Palomini up in the count 3-0. And back to what you were saying earlier, Sam. I mean, don't want to walk Palomini in this spot and give him a chance to get another stolen base on the season. And he's now one pitch away from doing so.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword here because Palomini is hitting very well, obviously, but once he gets on, of course, there's no stopping him.
The 3-0 count out here. The count now goes 3-1.
It's always a good take, 3-0. Been hearing a lot of Major League talk, though, about how maybe you don't take that pitch anymore, and we're starting to see those unwritten rules kind of fade away.
Going for the green light, usually what they say sometimes in that spot. We heard a lot of that. Heard a lot of that as well during our softball broadcast this week with Joe Foreman and Joe Calabrese on the call for those games. As now quickly the count goes forward here, 3-2. Jacob is now a strike away from getting back in the count, getting a strikeout. And that will not be the case as he does walk Palomini. And he's on first base with one away.
See if Palomini gets going here. I have him down as only one stolen base so far this season.
So far, 1 for 1. But I get the sense that he would probably try to steal at some point, maybe during this at bat, especially with Vigliotti at the plate.
Only 3 stolen bases so far this season in total.
Ground ball hit to short. This could be 2. And it's a 6-4-3 double play as Vigliotti is retired on just one pitch. As Rinnick goes to Brown, he goes to first baseman James, and that will retire the side. We now head to the top of the 4th inning. CSI still leads us 1-0.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
And we are back for the top of the 4th inning. A still 1-0 lead for Staten Island in this game against the Cougars. The Dolphins in search of their 3rd win of the season right here. As Ryan Keogh's first pitch is in there for a strike. And the count quickly goes to 0-1.
Here is right fielder Stephen Young Jr., currently hitting .462 in 13 at-bats.
Had some big hits on Sunday in both games, and he hits that one into center field, playable for Palomini, and that'll be the first out of the inning.
Palomini having no issues with the lights right now. This is usually a really tough time of day to catch a fly ball out here when the lights are going on and the sun is going down, but no issues so far for him this evening.
And it was weird because on Sunday, guys, I mean, the thing with the game on Sunday, the first game, very bad sun in terms of trying to field any fly ball, and that allowed an error in center field from Palomini and allowed a run to score in that game for Caldwell. And thankfully, I think at this point, in this spot, obviously the lights are on, but I'm sure he's much more appreciative of not having the sun glaring on him while he's trying to field one of these fly balls out in center.
Yeah, so far, he's looking good this evening.
Leon Lombardi at the plate. Made a bid for a home run ball his first time around. Just went foul down that right field line. This count goes to 1-2.
You know what we say about those? It's just a long strike.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no better way of saying it. I mean, and we talked about the wind. I mean, for a guy like Lombardi, he's definitely going to play or try to at least get it down that right field line and make sure to tie this game maybe with one swing. He definitely has the potential to do so as he fouled that last pitch off to keep the count 1-2.
Interestingly enough, Lombardi did show bunt on the very first pitch of this at-bat and pulled back.
That one hit sharp to short and threw for a base hit. Flashner did his best to try to get that one off the backhand with the glove, but Lombardi drills that one into left field with a one-out single.
It's a good piece of hitting there. He clearly goes opposite on purpose and gets it through the hole.
Third base hit of the night for Caldwell right there. And now brings in the go-ahead runner at the plate, that being the cleanup hitter Liam James. Cougar first baseman. That one in the dirt. Good job by Hunter to track that one down. The count goes to 1-0.
Liam James, another part of this lethal lineup for the Cougars, hitting .308 in 13 at-bats this season.
Check the runner at first base when Lombardi's back in safely.
If you're Caldwell right now, you just want to try to get Kehoe's pitch count up here because it looks like he is in control early on here this evening, and you're going to want to try to get him out of the game as quickly as possible. But pitch count is pretty low right now, and Kehoe has had some pretty quick innings. 41 pitches now in the evening.
Just about 10 per inning so far for Kehoe in this game. That one's chopped foul toward the Dolphin dugout, and the count goes to 2-1.
A little storyline from the 2024 season. Caldwell had one runner picked off all season. Will we see a steal attempt here? Doesn't look like he's getting big enough lead there.
Well, I will say this. Dolphins have not done a good job holding the runners on this season. They've allowed 23 stolen bases in 28 attempts.
That one in there for a strike, now 2-2. And then even in that first game against Caldwell, we saw the Dolphins give up a balk in that game that allowed the second run of the game in for the Cougars in that sixth inning. And then they were able to tie the game in the seventh. So that has definitely been a problem so far for the Dolphins this year. As it looks like they just missed getting that strike three call, and the count goes full at 3-2. So we'll see here, guys, if Lombardi does go on this next pitch. A 3-2 count here. Lombardi does stay, and James hits that one foul. So we'll do it again here on 3-2. Still one out in the inning. Dolphins can get out of it with a double play ball, and they again throw it to first, and Lombardi's back in safely. It'll be another 3-2, and James hits that one into left center. Could be trouble for Waterman, and that one will be not caught. It's going to go off the wall. Lombardi will round third. He will try to score. Flasher's throw to the plate, not in time.
Surprised that it even was close, but heck of an effort out there in left field by Waterman, but really nice piece of hitting, and Caldwell has tied the game up.
It's an RBI double for James on that extra base hit out into left center, and you said it, Nick. Waterman gave it a good run, made a diving attempt, but just could not make the play, and the Dolphins almost getting the throw at the plate as well. But Lombardi just beat the tag, and this game is now knotted up at 1.
It was a beautiful relay attempt there. Great throw from Flashner into home. Runner was just ahead of it.
Chance now for Sean Brown to give the Cougars the lead. That one missed for a ball, 1-0. Here's a second look. That RBI double from James. Huge play early in this game for Caldwell. Attacked for 2 hits in this inning after coming into the inning with just 2. So that one's in there for a strike now. Count 1-1. So early on in this game, the Dolphins would love to get out of this inning at least with the score still tied. But that will not help as Brown is hit by the pitch.
Takes
It will
one off
not be
the
first and
helmet.
second.
Looks like
Got
the
some
umpire was trying to run in to prevent some chirping, but I'm sure something must have been said.
Well, it's always scary when you get a ball thrown at your head, especially when it's that hard. Certainly not on purpose. But.
You would hope not. You would hope it wasn't on purpose. But it could also be frustrations from Keogh with that last pitch after allowing the game-tying run. And now Devon Cass will come up with first and second, still one out of the inning. I guess the only good thing about that happening, at least, in that spot for Keogh, double play ball could get him out of this jam. So there's a swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1 the count.
Players are really into this inning. A lot of yelling on both dugouts.
Count now 0-2 after that foul ball. And that one in there for strike 3. Cougars were not happy with that one. Cass thought he had a ball on that play, on that pitch. Keogh gets a huge strikeout. There's now 2 away in the inning.
Needed that with a go-ahead runner at second.
Bring up Jimmy Kurtz here, who was retired his first time with a strikeout as well. The count goes to 1-0. First and second, still 2 outs in the inning. As Kurtz swings and misses for a strike now, evens the count at 1. Here comes the 1-1 now from Keogh. That one hit to short. Flasher will throw it the short way to Leno at second, and that will retire the side. So Caldwell does get a run here in the top of the 4th, but they do strand 2 runners on base, and that will retire the top of this 4th inning. Caldwell now knots this game up at 1 apiece as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
And we are back for the bottom of the 4th inning, a brand new ball game here at SIUH Community Park. As this game is now knotted up at 1 apiece after the RBI double from Liam James in the top of the 4th inning.
It's come to my attention that our camera glare is showing me in the reflection, but that's nothing new to me. As the face of CSI, I'm used to having the camera on me.
Yeah, just a little bit of a glare you can see. As Leno is going to get himself a base hit to start off this bottom of the 4th.
Nice rip there by Leno through the right side. Leno, Nick, only batting 167 come to this game, but he was and is leading the team in RBI with 7 tied now with Palomini.
You see a replay right there. Leno just drilling that one into right field. Big swing and a miss right there from Waterman. And the count goes to 0-1.
Waterman got there looking to crush the ball after the ball landed just out of his reach in the top of the inning, which led to the run scoring.
So Waterman have a nice extra base hit against in Myrtle Beach. As that wild pitch off the glove, that might be a pass ball. We'll see what they score that one. But nonetheless, the Dolphins now move the runner into scoring position and a chance for Waterman to get himself an RBI base hit.
Yeah, I think if you touch the ball with your glove like that, it's got to be a pass ball.
Count now 1-1 here. I'm wondering maybe if Waterman here, I know it's 1-1, would he maybe lay down a bunt to move the runner to third? Doesn't look like he will, as he takes another big swing and a miss for a strike. And the count goes to 1-2. One and two the count here. And misses inside and low. The count now even at 2.
Waterman certainly has a big spot that he can hit out in left center field. Puts a nice swing on the ball.
You mentioned that alignment the first time he came up towards right center they're looking towards with that wind blowing out into right field. Did he go on that 2-2? Doesn't look to be that way. And the count now is full at 3-2.
Yeah, that's not something that obviously that you could check there because the umpire is in the B slot right now, which is up the middle, so he wouldn't have a good look at that on the check swing.
And now full 3-2 count here for Waterman, and he swings and misses for that one for strike 3. Looks like he maybe chased that one on the outside, and a big out number 1 for Caldwell.
Nice enticing pitch there, and Waterman couldn't resist it, and he goes down swinging.
Brings up J.J. Hunter now 1 away in the inning. Dolphins looking to reclaim the lead. As that one misses low and inside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Here comes the 1-0. Hunter hits that one foul down the right field line. The count evens at 1.
That one about 30 feet to the right of the foul pole, but it definitely had the distance.
It's a good idea if you want to go oppo here. The wind's going to carry it pretty far.
This Dolphins team from top to bottom known for hitting the opposite way the majority of their young careers. See if Hunter maybe does it here again. 1-1. Took a big swing and a miss for a strike. Might have been a little bit behind on that one. And the count goes to 1-2. Jacobus's fastball so far has been pretty good so far in this game.
Yeah, and you mentioned before his first career start in the collegiate level. Little nerves in the first inning, but he's definitely settled down here nicely.
As Hunter once again hits that one foul and out of play. Remains 1-2. Leno at second, still 1-2 to count here for Hunter. That one coming right towards us.
Thank goodness the window was closed.
Right off the
Right
window.
towards us.
The camera could have cracked.
Durst might have gotten hit in the face there if that window was open.
I'm going to see on replay how close that was.
It's a little low, but it would have definitely hit the tripod like if the window was open.
As Hunter hits that one into left field, will that stay fair? Down the left field line, it does stay fair. It's an extra base hit for Hunter. That will allow Leno to score and to give the Dolphins a 2-1 lead.
That was beautiful. It looked like the wind might have just barely brought that one back into play and landing on the line there.
Nice job of heading there, perfectly placed. Caldwell thought that ball was foul, but it goes down as a fair ball. Umpires will huddle up here. From my vantage point here, and we're behind the plate, but more towards the first base side a little. I thought it was a foul ball, but we do not have a good view from up here.
I was going to say, looking back on the replay, it's really tough. I think if someone was watching at home and had it on their big screen TV, you could probably zoom in and see exactly the play and see if it was fair or not. The call on the field will stand. So CSI now is on top 2-1 on the RBI double from Hunter.
Now, did we take a look at that replay on the foul ball?
I have it here. Let me pull it up.
It looked in real time to me like it might have just hit the white, which would be a fair ball.
It was pretty close. I don't think it would have hit the camera.
It would have been right below it. I think it would have hit the tripod.
It would have hit the tripod for sure. And we haven't had the second camera set up outside either. And I've been saying it this whole week. Some foul balls have been hit towards that area. It's probably a good thing we haven't had set up because that definitely would have gotten broken over this week.
Can't afford to have that happen.
No. So Jack Keogh comes up now with a runner on second and one out.
Good spot to bunt again, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see if they would bunt again with Keogh and try to move that runner to third base.
I think you should let him swing away.
I agree. And they do let him swing, and that one's hit down the third base line and foul and out of play.
I want to give a shout-out to all the fans in the stands tonight, as well as Sam's teammates, really braving the elements.
Indeed, they do seem to be wrapped up pretty heavily. It's very cold and windy out.
Yeah, would not want to be in their position right now.
Certainly not.
It's nice and warm here in this press box where we are currently situated at. As Keogh hits that one foul behind the plate, and the count goes 0-2. I will say, if you go to the room next door where PA is, you do feel the cold in that room. So I do feel for them. They have to at least deal with those conditions.
Yeah, well, that's because Pat's in there, and he always he's cold as ice.
I wonder if he heard that. He might agree with you. He might. I think they just told him
Pat's
what
working
you
on
said.
the scoreboard this evening.
He was pretty happy that he's going to be doing the scoreboard tonight.
I was surprised to see Pat here. I didn't know he worked baseball games.
Doesn't often, but he texted me during the week. He said, I'm going to be there with you on Friday. I said, all right. It's like, glad to hear that. 0-2 once again, and Keogh is down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Big strike out there for Caldwell. And then that's going to bring up Weigel here, who now, in back-to-back at-bats, is going to bat with the runner in scoring position.
He was retired via punch-out last time and would love to extend this inning for CSI. Try to get them a potential 3-1 lead. Misses for a ball 1-0. As you mentioned, our viewers can see you for our glare. There's might be able to see the little wave that Nick just gave.
But I wasn't able to see, so I had to stand up for a second there with the batter.
Yeah, it is tough sometimes. I think one of the games that we had here, I had to keep the light off in the room to avoid the glare. But with three of us here in calling this game, the light definitely needs to be on for this one. So we'll deal with the effects of that glare. Regardless on that, as Weigel swings and misses on 2-0, and the count goes to 2-1.
Weigel is a guy who hit 250 last year. He might be due here.
Mentioned had a great start to his Dolphin career. Numbers did go down a bit just last year. Trying to get those numbers up this year. But he's now in an even count here at 2-2. Jacobus now a strike away. Keeping this a one-run score once again.
Weigel hit under 158 coming into this at-bat.
The 2-2. And misses high for ball 3. I think the other good thing for the Dolphins in this inning is they have made the pitch count for Jacobus go up just a bit. Not sure what the exact total is for him, but they've certainly made him work in this inning, especially the first inning as well. But he gets another big strikeout over Weigel, and that will retire the side. So the Dolphins do bring home a run here in this home fourth off the bat of J.J. Hunter. He gets himself an RBI double and gives CSI now a 2-1 lead as we head to the top of the fifth inning.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And we are back for the top of the fifth inning. Chris Hopp will lead it off here. And once again, a brand new ball game here at SIUH Community Park. As J.J. Hunter's RBI double has now given CSI a 2-1 lead. And has given Ryan Keogh once again the lead heading into the top of the fifth. As Hopp's first pitch misses inside for a ball, and the count goes to 1-0. Once again, be 8-9-1 in the inning for Caldwell right here. That one is in there for a strike. Count evens at 1.
Hopp looking to start a little bit of a rally here as we will see the top of Caldwell's lineup here in this bottom or top of the fifth.
Count now goes to 1-2, and I think for this spot, you definitely would like to get at least one or two, or obviously both runners on base. And as you mentioned, we're bringing us back to the top of the lineup for this Caldwell team. It's Hopp, Patino Jr., and then Rinnick. That order here to start off this inning. As Hopp is down to count 1-2 here.
Well, what Caldwell did very well last inning, obviously, when they did score, is they got Keogh's pitch count up a bit.
Keogh certainly has had to work these last 2 innings so far. Count now is 2-2 here. We saw that he did that as well against Aiden Kilty on Sunday, as the count now is full 3-2. Kilty was pretty much cruising through the first couple innings against Caldwell. And the later innings, they forced his pitch count up to 79 pitches after 5, and that forced the Dolphins to go to the bullpen in that game. As Hopp hits that one foul, and that one will be out of play behind the netting.
That was pretty close. Maybe 2 seats from the net. Hunter could have made a play there if that ball just came a bit more into play. I'm
sure Hunter would have loved to have had an opportunity to make that play right there. Now a full count here for the Cougar catcher. He drills that one into right center field. That one's going to drop in for a base hit. It will one bounce off the wall. Hopp will round from first base. He's into second base sliding with a leadoff double.
Just a nice piece of hitting there, guys. Splitting the outfielders. The ball goes to the wall, and he's in there with an easy double.
You got the sense right off the bat Hopp was easy going to get 2 bases. No chance for Keogh out in right field to make any type of play. And we saw earlier, Nick, the Dolphins playing some small ball. With the number 9 hitter up in the lineup here for Caldwell, would not be stunned if they go for a bunt right here to try to get Hopp into the third base.
Playing some small ball perhaps here.
Corner infielders are in, and there's a bunt. It will stay fair. Did Keogh make the catch? He did!
What a catch. Laying out full force off the mound and just able to snag it before it hits the ground.
Are you kidding me with that catch? Unbelievable catch from Keogh. right past the mound, and there's one away.
Well, folks, pitchers are athletes, and that confirms it right there. Beautiful play.
I can't believe he caught that. I thought maybe that was going to be a bounce off the ground and into the glove, and Keogh was somehow able to make the catch, and that's an unbelievable first out of the inning.
Helping yourself.
Get a second look right here on the replay. Spectacular diving catch from Ryan Keogh right there. That one's going to go on the highlight reel for sure. As the count now evens at 1. We've seen so far in this game, Caldwell has stranded some runners into scoring position. A costly out number 1 right there. It's now Christian Rinnick back to the top of the lineup, but they do not want to blow this chance right here after getting that leadoff double. It'll be a 1-1 here from the Dolphins starter. And Rinnick heads that one foul towards the Dolphin bullpen and out of play. The count goes to 1-2.
High stress level pitches right now this inning for Keogh.
One strike away from getting the second out of this inning. Here comes the 1-2. It misses on the outside for ball 2. Be now a 2-2 count here for the Cougars shortstop. Base hit could knot this game up at 2 apiece. Here comes the 2-2. And once again misses on the outside for ball 3.
That's 2 fastballs in a row. Looked like they got away from Kehoe a little bit. See what he goes for here.
Keogh now in danger of walking the batter Rinnick. And forcing first and second with still 1 out in this inning. Here comes the 3-2. That one hit up the middle and through for a base hit. Hop will round third. He will stay there. Rinnick is going to go from first to second. He'll advance on the throw to the plate. So he has himself a base hit. And now the Cougars will have first and third with still 1 out in the inning.
Bigliotti should have cut that off because the runner got to second base by letting the throw go home when clearly the runner at third base was not heading home. So a bit of a defensive breakdown there for the Dolphins, and now we have 2 runners in scoring position, which will lead to a mound visit.
And as you mentioned, with 2 runners now in scoring position, that takes the double play ball effect out of this spot for the Dolphins. And with Stephen Young Jr. at the plate, the Dolphins, you would expect to have maybe the corner infielders, maybe the entire infield, move in defensively to try to prevent that tying run from scoring.
You wonder if maybe they're just giving Kehoe a breather here. Had a high-stress inning, thrown a lot of pitches so far. It's always nice to give your pitcher a breath here before he faces an important batter.
I think another discussion could have been maybe if you get behind this count early, do you just give up the intentional walk, load the bases, and then try to get the force at any base? So huge opportunity for Stephen Young Jr. Base hit. Will give Caldwell the lead. That one hit into right field. Will it be playable for Keogh? Out of play foul. The count goes to 0-1.
I think the plan here is obviously hoping for a strikeout. I think if we see a strikeout, we'll see an intentional walk to the next batter to try to get a double play or the force, at least at home. But a lot riding on this at-bat here.
If he was able to get the strikeout, it would get the second out of the inning. So that would be huge for Keogh on this spot. His first objective is to make sure that tying run from third does not score. Here comes the 0-1. It misses in the dirt for ball 1. And the count evens.
Young Jr., like the rest of this Caldwell lineup, of course, is scary. He hit 300 last year in 2024. And as we said, he is hitting 462 coming into this game.
Dangerous at bat here for both sides. The 1-1. That one in there for a strike now. 1-2 the count.
Coming right at him. You love to see it.
Fooled him with an inside fastball. Young Jr. thought he had a ball. And now Keogh was 1 strike away from a huge out number 2 in this inning. Here comes the 1-2. And it skips in the dirt for ball 2, and the count evens at 2 apiece. Liam Lombardi on deck for the Cougars. 2-2 the count here for Stephen Young Jr. Comes the 2-2. And it just misses on the outside for ball 3.
I think we've seen that called a strike later tonight, just based on my viewpoint. Looked like a good pitch to me.
Dolphins certainly thought that was a good pitch as well. And now the count goes to full here. Full count, 3-2 here for Young Jr. And it again misses on the outside for ball 4.
All right, not the worst thing, though, because now you can bring the infield back up the middle, at least. So it could have been worse, but obviously you wanted the strikeout.
The corner infielders will stay in for a throw to the plate. The middle infielders will move back for double play ball opportunity. Liam Lombardi Jr. What a huge, or excuse me, just Liam Lombardi. I don't know why I said junior. That was Stephen Young Jr. the last at bat. Liam Lombardi, bases loaded, still 1 out in the inning. And he took a big swing and a miss that right there for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Lombardi looking for a home run swing right there. Give Caldwell a potential 5-2 lead. There is action going up in the Dolphin bullpen as well. That one swung on a miss for strike 2. Keogh now 1 strike away from a big out number 2. Quickly 0-2 here to the Cougar designated hitter. And that one misses low for ball 1. Trying to get him to chase on that one.
Right now, Keogh in this inning just not having the success putting the batters away.
It's kind of what they did similar in the last inning, Nick and Sam, where they forced Keogh's pitch count up, and they have made him pay for it so far. Here comes the 1-2, and a huge swing and a miss for strike 3. Big out number 2 for Keogh right there.
Needed that, and Sam, you saw the emotion on the Caldwell batter's face after striking out there.
He was very upset. A perfectly placed fastball on outside corner. Lombardi was maybe trying to pull that one like he tried to in the first inning where it just went foul and didn't quite get it. Great pitch from Keogh.
So it's up to Liam James now with 2 away. He's responsible for the lone run in this game for Caldwell. With his RBI double his last time up. And he's quickly down the count here 0-1.
And there's that outside strike call that we did not see previously, but it is back, and it is still a good pitch.
You mentioned Nick Dolphins to get the force at any base as well if they were to get a ground ball. But Keogh is now 1 strike away from another strikeout to retire this side. The count goes to 0-2. As James calls time at the plate.
Looks like a ball made its way onto the field from the bullpen.
So count still 0-2 here for Liam James, the first baseman, trying to get something for Caldwell and potentially tie or take the lead with a base hit. Here comes the 0-2. And it just missed on the outside, and you got to give Hunter a little bit of props right there. He tried to frame that one perfectly for his pitcher.
Yep, the Dolphins are going to keep going to that spot. If they get one call, they're going to try and get another one.
It's now 1-2 the count here for James. As you mentioned, Sam trying to go to that outside corner.
Looks like he's setting up inside here.
The 1-2, that one hit foul. And out of play toward the bullpen of the Cougars. It remains 1-2.
See if they maybe go with something in the dirt here, up in the count 1-2. See if they can get him to chase. But Liam James showing great plate discipline in this at bat.
The 1-2 again on the outside, but it just misses once again for ball 2.
Yes. They go back to the spot. It's just a little too far.
Certainly was outside there despite the nice framing attempt.
Okay, now 2-2 count. 2 away in the inning here in the top of the 5th. The bases are loaded and a 2-1 lead for the Dolphins.
Setting up outside once again.
The 2-2. That one drilled to the left field line. It is going to be a fair ball and will roll off the wall. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. Here comes the 3rd run. He will score. A bases clearing RBI double for Liam James. He is responsible for all 4 runs tonight for the Cougars, and they have taken a 4-2 lead.
Liam James, the senior first baseman, having quite the night. Really nice job of hitting there. Pulled it down the left field line, just kept it fair, and clears the bases.
Looked like maybe a missed spot there from Keogh. We saw Hunter set up outside once again, and it just leaked over the plate a bit.
And that one's got a sting for Keogh. Was 1 strike away from getting himself out of the jam and keeping the Dolphins on top 2-1. He tried to go with that inside fastball, and James was able to get the play. The Dolphins were checking to see maybe if James missed the first base bag. The call remains stands as it's an RBI double for James. And it's now a 4-2 lead for Caldwell in this game. That one in there for a strike 0-1. The batter now is Sean Brown. This Caldwell now has 7 hits in this game. They've gone to Keogh in the first 4 2/3. Again, misses on the outside for ball 1.
Caldwell's really blown things up here in the 5th inning.
I think the best thing for Keogh is try to minimize the damage, at least keep this a 2-run contest. Give your lineup a chance at the bottom half of the inning to potentially tie or take the lead once again. Now it misses for a ball, 2-1 the count. There is action going up in the Dolphin bullpen as well. Can't see from our vantage point who that is in the bullpen, but they do have a pitcher warming up. The 2-1. And it misses high for ball 3. So after sailing through the first 3 innings of this game, Keogh has really had to work these last 2 innings. And it's a great testament to these Caldwell Cougars' patience at the plate. It has allowed them to get 4 runs. As Brown swings and misses for strike 2.
Yeah, and I don't think Kehoe will be back out there after this inning if he does get through it.
Yeah, I'm very curious to know what his pitch count is, but it has skyrocketed these last 2 innings, as I heard 90 was the number. So I would agree with you, Nick. This is going to be his last inning of work, and
this is where things get dicey for this Dolphins team this season, where you get into the bullpen.
Dolphins certainly have had their struggles this year when coming into relief. It'll be up to the bullpen, it looks like, the rest of the way if Keogh can get out of this inning right here. Another 3-2. And it misses on the outside once again before ball 4. So once again, Sam, they went back to that outside fastball on 3-2. But again, he just missed, and now it's first and second.
It's hard to tell at this point what's a ball and what's a strike because it seems like they're targeting the same exact spot, and 50% of the time it is a strike, and 50% of the time it is not.
Now, if the information is correct, is that one's fouled by Cass, 0-1 to count. The word is that Pusinelli was the one warming up in the Dolphin bullpen. He is no longer warming up, so he is ready to go if Keogh cannot get this final out of the inning right here. Comes the 0-1. That one hit towards center and through for a base hit. James will round third. He will score on an RBI single for Devon Cass. It's now 5-2 Caldwell.
And Cass just reached out and let the bat take the ball up the middle there. Really an effortless swing.
Yeah, that's a good piece of hitting there by Big Cass, and you can't teach that. Just instincts right there up the middle, and looks like we're going to have a pitching change now.
Yeah, the Dolphins certainly not happy with how these last couple of batters have gone, and kind of similar to what I was mentioning earlier, guys, in that game against against Georgian Court on Tuesday. The Dolphins were 1 out away from getting out of this jam, and even 1 strike away from getting out of this jam, and instead it has spiraled out for CSI in this 5th inning. A 4 spot now for Caldwell gives them a 5-2 lead When we come back from this commercial break, Dolphins bring on a new reliever. And we are back where the Dolphins make a pitching change. It's going to be Nick Pusinelli coming on for CSI. Here at the top of the fifth inning, Dolphins still in search, getting the final out of this inning as they now trail this game 5-2.
Pusinelli, of course, got the save for the Dolphins in their first game of the regular season.
He pitched against Caldwell on Sunday as well, allowed a run in one inning of work.
Pusinelli, 8.44 ERA, 0-1 on the season. This is his fifth appearance. He has pitched not too many innings, but it is early on in the season, only 5 1/3 innings.
He comes into a tough spot right here. First and second, still 2 outs. Jimmy Kurtz, the batter here for Caldwell. If he's able to get himself an extra base hit, can really open up this game. Can put the Dolphins in danger of maybe not coming back into this one. Still a little bit of time for CSI to get back into this game. But it's a huge difference of getting back from a 3-run deficit to compared to maybe a 5 or 6-run deficit with one swing. This time is called. Count is right now 1-1. Ryan Keogh finishing the night with 94 pitches as well. We spoke about it going into that fourth inning, Nick. He was at 40 pitches at one point in that fourth inning. Caldwell really made him work these last two, throwing all those extra pitches and all those at-bats. And Liam James, obviously the biggest difference of this game so far with 4 RBIs.
Now we see a mound visit where Hunter calls it and runs out after a slider or something breaking in. Gotta wonder what that conversation might be about right now.
Could have been a miscommunication maybe of the pitches they want to throw in that bat. But now with a count of 2-1, we'll have to see what he does here. As Kurtz fouls that one off of his leg. The count now evens at 2.
That's a nice fastball in. Kurtz obviously can't get to it with a long swing there.
So the Dolphins once again are 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. It'll be a 2-2 for Pusinelli. And that one's in the dirt for strike 3. Hunter will tag the batter Kurtz and will retire the side. But not before Caldwell gets 4 runs in this inning, the big brunt of it coming off of a bases-clearing RBI double from Liam James. We now head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Caldwell now leads this one 5-2. And we are back for the bottom of the 5th inning. And once again, guys, another brand new ball game. Caldwell now leads this one 5-2 after a 4-run top of the 5th. And now for Jared Jacobus, he now has himself his first lead of the night.
Jacobus been pitching pretty well here. His fastball has been playing nicely tonight.
He's quickly up in the count 0-2 to Johnny Bowman as the Dolphins will have 9-1-2 up in the inning. Bowman hits that one foul, not a play down the right field line. Remains 0-2.
Jacobus looks like he's switching up his timing a little bit here. Going to the stretch pretty quickly sometimes. Sometimes he's taking his time. Of course, that's a batter's weakness, is timing.
Caldwell does have someone warming up in their bullpen as well. So they would at least like to get Jacobus out of this inning and give him a chance to get the victory at the end of the night if the score remains the same. It's now a 1-2 count here to Bowman. And he hits that one foul. Hitting right off towards the press box and near the suites. So it remains 1-2. That one in on the inside, misses for ball 2. Cougars thought they had themselves the first out of the inning. It's counting even to 2.
Not particularly close. That pitch was definitely inside.
Comes a 2-2. And it skips in the dirt for ball 3. And the key might be for the Dolphins in this inning to try and make Jacobus' pitch count go up.
Well, they're putting together a good at-bat here. You just got to keep passing it along.
Bowman swings and misses on that fastball on the outside. And there's quickly one away.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Michael Flashner.
Brings up now Michael Flasher on one down in the inning. He has one of the Dolphins' 4 hits in the night. That one misses in the dirt for ball 1. Flashner has to get himself out of the way on that last pitch, and the count goes to 2-0. The count here for the Dolphins shortstop. The Dolphins now trail this game by 3 runs. That one in there for a strike, 2-1 to count.
Saw a little bit of a slider or something there. Started inside and then came back on a 2-0 count. And that is a nice fastball. Low and away, but paints the corner for a strike.
Being told that it's Ryan Silnick up in the Cougar bullpen. So he's the next man in line for Caldwell in this game. Count now is 2-2 here for Flashner. And it misses for ball 3. So back-to-back batters for the Dolphins, working the count full at 3-2. So Bowman go down and strike, swinging his for the first out. See if Flasher can get something here. Give the Dolphins a base runner. Here comes the 3-2. Flasher hits this one right towards the shortstop as the Cougars had that one perfectly scouted on the defensive alignment, and there's now 2 away.
It's a nice piece of hitting. He goes opposite. It's just someone standing right there. It's super unfortunate.
Nice defense right now by Caldwell.
That was Rennick out at short. Did not have to move at all to make that play out there. There's now 2 away in the inning. It'll be up to Palomini to extend the inning for CSI. Palomini responsible for one of the Dolphins' runs in this game. He took a big swing and a miss on that first pitch for a strike. As the count goes to 0-1. The 0-1. And it skips in the dirt and behind the backstop for a ball. Count evens at 1. The 1-1. Misses on the inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count. To mention the Dolphins, after tonight, will be at Caldwell tomorrow for a doubleheader. And they head to Holy Family on Sunday for a doubleheader. As Palomini hits that one foul to even the count at 2. Then after Sunday, they'll be right back here at SIUH Community Park for a matchup with Dominican.
Be good to say some other opponents. 5 early games versus Caldwell here.
That one is skied.
That's in the left center, or I should say left shallow center field. And it was caught by the shortstop Brinnick, and that will retire the side. As the Dolphins go down 1-2-3 here in the home fifth, we head to the top of the 6th inning. Caldwell leads this one, 5-2.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Holmes.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Top of the 6th inning here at SIUH Community Park. Nick Pusinelli on for another inning of relief. Record the final out of the top of the 5th inning. As Dolphins still trail this game 5-2. He will face Devon Cass to lead it off. Excuse me, that would be Chris Hoff to lead it off. 8-9-1 once again upcoming here for the Cougars. So Hoff, his last time up, had a double. He kick-started that 4-run 5th. Come around to score on the bases clearing double from James.
Indeed, this is a bit of deja vu. Huff did lead off at the top of the last inning.
He's quickly up in the count here, 3-0. Pusinelli in danger of walking the leadoff batter here in the 6th inning. That one in there for a strike now, 3-1 the count. It'll be a 3-1 now here to the Cougar catcher. And I think it plunked him. Regardless, he is on first base. Don't know if he got out of the way or not on that one, but it is a leadoff base runner for Caldwell.
Looked like it might have bounced off his leg after he tried jumping out of the way.
Not what you want here for Bruce and Ellie. Don't want to get things going with some heavy traffic on the base paths right away.
Christian Patino Jr. now the batter. We saw him try to lay down a bunt his last time. It was robbed on the spectacular play by Keogh on the mound. Would not be surprised if he bunts once again right here as the Dolphins call time. As you mentioned, Nick, the Dolphins for at least CSI Athletics, they're not done. Tomorrow, as you mentioned, basketball with their own doubleheader. The women's team will take on Mercy and their semifinal matchup at 2. And then at 5:30, men's team will take on the number 1 seed Damon University Wildcats, who, as we know this season, have had a spectacular year, undefeated going into the playoffs, and the overwhelming favorite to win the ECC championship.
It looks like we have maybe a bit of an argument here going from this.
Yeah, I do see Mike Moore out at the plate.
Not sure if it's balls and strikes that we're arguing, but
And I you know what I think it could be, Sam? And I'm not sure if I saw it from the umpire. I don't know if maybe a warning was issued because we did see a hit batter earlier. I think it could be that.
that's a possibility. For
I don't know if I saw the umpire give the warning, but it very well could have been the case. Because if that wasn't the case, I'm not sure what Mike Moore was out there to discuss with the home plate ump.
I think that's a good explanation. I don't know why he would go out if it wasn't a warning.
So we'll see if that was the case. As Patino Jr. will finally get his first pitch of the at-bat thrown right here. Doesn't show bunt. And hits that one foul down the right field line. An 0-1 count here to the center fielder from Caldwell. That one in there for a strike now, quickly 0-2.
Looks like Caldwell's just going to keep trying to pour it on here. I don't know if we'll see any more small ball from them if they keep this lead.
What we saw in game number 2, Patino Jr. swings and misses on that inside fastball for strike 3, and there's now one away. In that second game of the doubleheader, the Dolphins trailed in that game 4-0. Worked their way back to making it 4-3, and eventually lost that game 5-3. But they showed that they are able to make a comeback down at least 3 or 4 runs. They scored some runs as well down against Georgian Court, where they trailed that game at 16-5, and they at least made it 16-8. The Dolphins certainly have some capability in the later innings of these games to keep at bats going and get some extra runs and make this game a little bit closer. With a 3-run deficit, there's still a lot of time left in this one for them to try to get back. And Hunter did a great job of stopping that one as Pusinelli almost threw that one to the backstop. The count goes 2-0.
With Hopf on first, all you really got to do is prevent it from getting past you, and you probably got a good chance of keeping him at first.
It's back to the top of the lineup here for Caldwell. Rinnick at the plate. Had himself a base hit his last time up. Now it's 2-1 count. At the top of the 6th inning, Dolphins really trying to keep this game within reach. 3-run deficit here. Big swing and a miss from Rinnick. And the count now evens at 2. Looked like maybe he was a little bit out in front on that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, it looked like he might have pulled the string there with a changeup or something of the sort running arm side.
Could use the strikeout or a ground ball here.
Could be a 2-2. And he misses low for ball 3. And the count now goes to full at 3-2. See the Dolphins start getting someone warmed up in the bullpen as well. Full count 3-2 here for Rinnick. And he swings and misses on that one for strike 3. So Rinnick is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. A huge punch out from Pusinelli. And it'll be Stephen Young Jr. who will try to extend the inning here for Caldwell. Caldwell did their damage that last inning, all coming via 2 outs. See if they can do it once again here. And nice breaking ball is in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1.
As a batter, you're never expecting the at-bat to start out with a breaking ball. So we might have seen Young Jr. get frozen there on the first pitch.
He grounds that one to second. Leno will go the short way towards second base and flip it to Flashner for the final out of the 6th inning. As the Cougars strand a runner here at the top of the sixth, we head to the home half of the sixth inning. Dolphins trail this one 5-2.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 22, A.J. Vigliotti.
A.J. Vigliotti will lead it off here in the bottom of the sixth inning as the Dolphins still trail this game 5-2. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 up in the inning for CSI. Vigliotti, Leno, and Waterman. And trailing by 3 runs, I guess, the Dolphins, this is certainly a spot in the order you would want to have up and try to get you back into this contest. As Jacobus' first strike of the inning is in there for 0-1. Quickly, Vigliotti is down the count 0-2.
Those are 2 fastballs on the inside corner of the plate that not too appetizing, but they are well placed.
Count goes to 1-2. If you notice also for Jacobus, he's not really wasting much time on the mound. He gets quickly into his stance and throws his pitch. So not much time for the Dolphins to really decipher what's going on during their at-bats.
Having a really strong outing.
So that one misses for ball 2. You mentioned Nick also. He had a slow start to this game back in the first inning, giving up that double to Palomini. But since then has really settled into this game. Gave up that 1 run back in the 4th. But now has a 3-run lead here in the 6th. As the count now is full at 3-2. Dolphins would love to have an early base runner right here via the walk. Comes to 3-2. And it's in there for strike 3. Vigliotti was on his way to first base. He thought he had himself a walk. And instead he's retired down via the punch out. And there's one away.
Yeah, most of the time when a player thinks they're going down and they start going for a walk, strike 3.
Inside fastball from Jacobus gets him for the first out of the inning. Bring up T.J. Leno, who got himself a base hit his last time around. And he hits that one fouled out of reach.
And that pitch was very similar to the first 2 that Jacobus threw that were on the inside corner and taken by Vigliotti. Not looking to hit that inside pitch.
The 0-1. Leno drills that one into right field for a base hit. So TJ Leno has himself his second hit of the night, the 5th one of this game for the Dolphins, and it's a 1-out single.
Needed to get the offense going, and finally, it's been a while, but Dolphins break through with a hit.
And that will lead to a mound visit right here. We'll see if that leads to a pitching change. It might have left Jacobus out there for the lefty-lefty matchup. before going to Selnick.
Might have bring the righty in now for Waterman. We'll see. Looks like he's going to make the change.
He's going to make the change as well. So we'll go to commercial break real quick as the Cougars make a pitching change. They lead this one 5-2.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
So new pitcher here for the Cougars is Ryan Silnick coming on in relief. So Jared Jacobus here in the in the bottom of the 6th inning. First batter he'll face is Jaden Waterman, and his first pitch is in there for a strike. Silnick pitched back on Sunday in Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Dolphins and the Cougars. Got the save in that game, 2 innings of relief. As Waterman hits that one into left field, but it will be playable out in left field, and the catch is made from Kurtz, and there's now 2 away.
Gave it a good ride, but with the wind blowing out to right, it just died down, and it was able to be caught easily.
Silnick in that game on on Sunday pitched 2 innings of relief. Did not allow a hit, a run, a walk, or a strikeout. So very strong outing from him out of relief in that 5-3 Cougar win on Sunday. Let's see now how many he goes here tonight in this game. As J.J. Hunter now comes up with 2 away. Hunter responsible for bringing home, at that point in time, the go-ahead run for the Dolphins. They took a 2-1 lead off that RBI double. The 1-0. That one hit down the third base line but goes foul. The count evens at 1. It'll be a 1-1 here to the Dolphin catcher. And he has to get out of the way on that one. The count goes 2-1.
That pitch was very inside. I thought it might hit him. He did get just out of the way, though.
Jack Keogh on deck for the Dolphins. Is tied for the team lead in home runs. But it looks like he'll have to wait another inning for it at bat as that one's grounded to third base. Castle's over at the shoreway to second, and they will retire the side. Dolphins try to run on base here in the bottom of the 6th. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Caldwell leads this one 5-2.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win,
I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back for the top of the 7th inning here at SIUH Community Park. 5-2 lead for Caldwell still here in this top of the inning. As Nick Busanelli's first pitch of the inning is going to miss for a ball, 1-0 the count. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 of the inning for the Cougars. Lombardi, James, and Brown. They've certainly done some damage in this game for Caldwell tonight. They try to extend this already 3-run lead. Big swing and a miss from Lombardi there is in there for a strike, and the count evens at 1.
Challenged him there with the fastball up. Lombardi couldn't quite catch up to it or take it the other way.
That one again in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. Lombardi struck out his last time up. He was the last out recorded by Keogh back in that 5th inning. And that one's on the outside corner for strike 3. As Lombardi is once again retired via the punch-out. And Pusinelli has himself a strikeout to start off the 7th inning.
3 fastballs in a row there to challenge Lombardi. Pusinelli was looking like a beast there.
And that will now bring up the man of the hour for this Cougars lineup, Liam James. Responsible for 4 RBIs tonight. And Nick, it makes sense why he's batting in that cleanup spot in the order.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the offense as Pusinelli actually lost his hat there with his violent delivery. But see if James can inflict any more damage. Obviously, if he's going to get an RBI here, he'll be hitting a home run.
Quickly a 2-0 count here for the first baseman. It's not the first time we've seen a player lose their hat while they're playing any of these games. And I guess also with the wind tonight, I guess that also definitely doesn't help any of the players out there. Pusinelli is quickly down the count here, 3-0. And it misses for ball 4. As Hunter a little bit shaken up on that last one. We'll see if he is okay. Maybe he hit. Looks like it did hit him on the way from the dirt. So James is on with the 1-out walk.
Yeah, it looked like it skipped in, hit him maybe upper thigh, groin area.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to walk it off, but he is definitely in some discomfort right now.
If it is what we think it is, it's not a great feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, not especially in a cold weather night like this. That one not gonna feel great. Not gonna feel great.
And you love to see Pusinelli there throwing the ball away to give him another second to recover, because it's not always an instant recovery. But Hunter is back at it.
Sean Brown, the batter here for Caldwell. So misses on the outside for ball 1. Dolphins would love to get a double play ball right here. Get themselves out of this 7th inning, still trailing by 3. Try to chip their way back into this contest. So misses low for ball 2. For Pusinelli now, he's missed with his last 6 pitches. After getting that strikeout to start this inning. (2-0). And it misses again for ball 3. And James will easily get to second base with off the wild pitch.
Looked like Hunter probably could have gloved that one. It just maybe got under the netting a little bit.
Pusinelli still trying to find the strike zone now. Another 3-0 count right here. Danger of walking Brown and making first and second still with 1 out. And that one's in there for a strike now, 3-1.
Trying to find some consistency here. He goes for a slider. Brings it right over the middle. Of course, it is 3-0, so Brown is taking there.
The 3-1. And it misses in the dirt for ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued right there from Pusinelli. Makes it now first and second with 1 out in the inning. He will now bring up Devon Cass.
Well, how many times have we seen it, Nick, where a walk leads to bad things?
Unfortunately, it's happened a lot this week, Nick. It's happened a bunch of times for the Dolphins. Gets Caldwell on Sunday, gets George and Court on Tuesday. And after getting that first strikeout to start this inning, back-to-back walks, quickly a 1-0 count here for Cass. Put the Dolphins into some danger of maybe letting this game spiral out of control. That one in there for a strike now, 1-1. Expect to see the Dolphins maybe get someone warmed up at the bullpen in a few moments as well. As that one's hit into right field, that one's down for a base hit. They will hold the runner at third base. And James, it is a base hit for Cass. And Caldwell now has the bases loaded with 1 away.
Cass takes a nice easy swing there. Pushes it the opposite way and it gets through. Caldwell's got the bases loaded.
Jimmy Kurtz now comes to the plate with the bases loaded chance.
Big opportunity here for Kurtz to really blow this game open. With only 1 out.
And the problem now as well for Pusinelli, no open base, so can't afford a walk here. Quickly down the count, 1-0. Big swing and a miss from Kurtz. The count goes to 1-1, and Nick right there, he was looking for an extra base hit.
Yeah, his eyes are lighting up. He sees the runners all over. Last time, of course, that Caldwell had the bases loaded, all 3 runs scored on that James double.
That one just misses on the outside for ball 2. So once again, Sam, Nick going, this time Pusinelli. We saw Keogh do it earlier, but Pusinelli this time around trying to get that outside corner.
For certain, this time it is against a lefty.
The 2-1. Kurtz will hit this one into left. Might be deep enough to bring home the runner from third. Waterman can make the catch. It's off of his glove. 1 run will score. Here comes the second runner, and he will score. Disaster for the Dolphins in the outfield leads to 2 more runs for Caldwell. They now lead at 7-2.
Well, I guess the Dolphins are going to have to chalk up another error. They've had 9 leading up to this game in the regular season. I guess that makes it 10 now.
Kind of an eerie feeling of what we saw this entire week, unfortunately.
Yeah, 23 errors now this season I have for the Dolphins.
There goes the runner from second. Hunter will make a strong throw to third base. And that will get the runner out at third. So there's now 2 away in the inning.
Good throw there by Hunter. Nice and quick. Gets the runner out at third.
Kurtz is into second base. But the Dolphins do get the second out of the inning. It's Chris Hopp, the catcher, will try to extend the inning for Caldwell. That one in there for a strike, count even at 1. Wyman made a great run to the play, but it just bounced off his glove. It might have been one of those sequences where he was looking towards the runner at third to see if maybe he would have been able to throw him out at the plate. And instead was not able to make the catch in the process.
It looks like the umpire might have just missed a strike call there. That one seemed to be right over the plate.
And now it's 3-1.
Pusinelli's really getting squeezed here, unfortunately.
Well, we do have an umpire up here in the press box, Nick Durst.
Well, the only thing I will say is that unless you are right behind the plate where the umpire is or the catcher, it is really impossible to judge balls and strikes, no matter where your other vantage point is. So,
this Hop does work a 2-out walk to extend the inning.
Speaking of balls and strikes, it looks like we are seeing the implementation of the automatic ball and strike system in spring training right now, which is interesting for the future of sports in general.
yeah, we should definitely bring it to the Little League level. That's where it's needed the most because umpires get hounded by the parents.
Patino Jr. hits this one out into right field. Keogh is there. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Caldwell does strand 2 runners on base here in the top of the 7th, but they do bring home 2 runs off the error for the Dolphins here in this top of the 7th inning. We head to the home 7th. Caldwell now leads this one 7-2.
When all eyes are on the court, we're focused on what matters most, preparing college athletes for a lifetime of opportunity. After the buzzer, off the court, it's about education and working to earn a degree. Creating healthier campuses through groundbreaking research and policies. And a fair shot so dreams can stay on track. United as an association, we've got work to do. We're building a pathway to lifelong opportunity.
A 7-2 lead now for Caldwell here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's now a 5-run deficit for CSI in this game. So that first pitch misses on the outside for a ball 1-0. Jack Keogh leads it off for the Dolphins. They have the bottom half of the order here in this bottom of the 7th. Keogh, Weigel, and Bowman here. Trying to now get CSI back into now a 5-run deficit after a costly error out in left field, really hurting the Dolphins. And now an even larger deficit coming into this half inning.
As a ball rolls onto the field.
Well, the warm-up balls from the bullpen. I believe it hit right off of the dugout. Yeah, right onto the field of play.
Those old school bullpens, you love them, but sometimes that'll happen.
Big swing and a miss from Keogh right there. Leaving the count at 1. Now, Nick, if this is true, I'm not sure if he is the one warming up in the bullpen. Christopher Martinez right now is the rumored pitcher up in the Dolphin pen.
The birthday boy. Looking to celebrate here by taking the mound and putting a dominant performance.
I'd love to celebrate a Dolphin come from behind victory as well if CSI can get back into this game. As Keogh was able to work himself a walk. So the count we had on the board was 2-1, but it was 3-0, and Keogh was on first base to start off this inning.
I don't know who's doing the board over there, but
well, you gave him a glaring some good comments earlier tonight. And I told him before, I said, you got to be on your A game tonight because we actually have Scoreboard working for our broadcast tonight. So I haven't had to actually input it myself.
That's great.
Saving me a little bit of a trip as they check Keogh at first base. He's back in safely. Vincent Weigel, the batter here. He's gone down twice swinging in this contest. Gets a breaking ball right there and hits that one into right field. Long run, and it will be caught out in right field by Young Jr., and he's retired on one pitch, one away.
Young Jr. pretty sure-handed, has a couple of catches this evening battling the wind out there. Wind seems to have died down a bit since the opening pitch, but still howling.
Yeah, you can get a sense of it by looking at the American flag out in right field. It's kind of going on and off these last few moments. Johnny Bowman, the batter here for the Dolphins. He takes that one on the outside for ball 1. Check Keogh once again. He's back in safely. Don't believe Keogh has a stolen base on the year yet. Oh, actually, he does. He's 1 for 2 on the season. So he does have 1 stolen base. But I would think in a spot like this, where the Dolphins are trailing by 5, they do not want to get caught on the base pass and cost them an out. It's now 1-1 here to Bowman. After him, it's back to the top of the line for CSI. And it misses on the outside for ball 2. Caldwell also having a pitcher warming up in their bullpen. Hoping that Sona can get out of the 7th inning and then they can turn to the next man in relief. That one chopped to third, could be 2. Cass will go to first base, and a nice scoop at first by James is in time. They would not have had enough time to get the double play, so they do get the force out at first, and there's now 2 away.
It's a nice sure-handed play by the third baseman there. If he tries to turn 2 there, he might overthrow into the outfield, and then CSI gets a big opportunity.
So it'll be up to Michael Flashner now with 2 outs in the inning. Try to cut into this 5-run deficit. We saw Caldwell earlier get themselves a 2-out rally. Can the Dolphins get one right here? Misses on the outside for ball 1. Misses low for ball 2. Chris Palomini on deck for CSI. Flasher would love to get on to get Palomini and maybe even Vigliotti after him a chance to cut into this 5-run deficit as now it's 3-0.
I would hate to jinx it, but we might have a 2-out rally brewing.
Another one of those warm-up pitches, this time going behind the plate. Palomini had to track that one down. Was told that Ben Foote was the one that was warming up in the Caldwell bullpen. We'll see if that is the case. Flasher took that one for a strike, 3-1 to count.
Interesting tactic there, maybe to throw off the pitcher and see if he maybe changes his delivery a bit.
Tend to think he goes back to the fastball here on 3-1. And he misses on the outside for ball 4. So Flasher's on with a 2-out walk. Dolphins now at first and second, still 2 outs. Chris Palomini now will have a monster chance. If he gets an extra base hit, he can cut this deficit into maybe 3. We know he has the home run power capability as well. As that one misses outside for a ball, 1-0 to count. As I mentioned, if he gets on base, it brings up Vigliotti on deck. Another man capable of having that home run power as well. Palomini hits that one foul and out of play, 1-1.
Yeah, just a single here. You imagine would score at least 1 run and then get into the heart of the lineup. That has to be your hope.
While a home run would be nice to have, some might consider it a rally killer as well. That breaking ball missed high, 2-1 to count.
As Silnick looks like he's really struggling to locate that breaking ball. Sometimes he's missing high, sometimes he's missing away. But he hasn't gotten any chase out of it recently. It's a good development if you're the Dolphins.
Palomini would love a mistake pitch on that breaking ball potentially. And he's now in the count ahead, 3-1. So some life here for the Dolphins potentially in the 7th.
The hitters count.
If he gets something good right here, he's definitely going to make sure he swings at it. It'll be 3-1 here to the Dolphins center fielder. And he does swing. It's hit to short. They'll go the short way to second, and that will retire the side. A nice play by Rinnick out at shortstop. He throws it to Brown at second base, and the side is retired. Dolphins strand 2 runners here in the bottom half of the 7th. We head to the top of the 8th inning. Caldwell leads this one, 7-2.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
Top of the 8th inning here at SIUH Community Park. 7-2 lead for Caldwell in this game. And a new pitcher on for the Dolphins. And Nick and Sam, it is the birthday boy. Christopher Martinez is on in relief as that one is going to be in there for a base hit. Riddick will round first. He will go to second. And it's a leadoff double for the Cougars.
They very nearly nabbed him there at second base. It was a great cutoff and turn by Polomini. Riddick just has some great speed and got in there just in time.
I stopped myself for a second. Wasn't sure initially off the bat that one was going to be caught out in left center field. But Riddick gets himself a leadoff double first pitch swinging. And it's now Stephen Young Jr. up to the plate.
It's hard to track the ball here going into that left center.
There goes Riddick. Hunter's throw to third skips there, and it will be not in time. A stolen base right there for Christian Riddick. He gets a little bit closer now to scoring the 8th run for Caldwell in this game.
And Riddick so far is just putting on a display of his blazing speed.
Yeah, for Riddick, he's now 6 for 6 to start this season. Big reason why he's at the top of this lineup. Hunter saved that one from going to the backstop and bringing home the run. The count goes 2-0. That one in there for a strike now, 2-1 the count. Martinez on the season. This will be his 4th appearance of the year. His last appearance came on Sunday as well against Caldwell. That one hit foul and behind the plate. And the count now evens at 2. It'll be now a 2-2 here. And once again, Young Jr. will hit that one foul.
Kind of just lunged at that one, trying to stay alive. Batted it back into the screen.
We'll do it once again here, 2-2. And that one is hit into left center field. Palomini will have no chance. It's in there for a base hit. Stephen Young Jr. delivers himself an RBI base hit. And Caldwell now leads this one 8-2.
Caldwell pouring it on here. Huge 6-run lead in the 8th.
Their 11th hit now of the night. And the Dolphins, we saw what happened on Tuesday against Georgian Court. I believe they allowed 16 hits in that game. Correction, they allowed 12 runs in that game. They gave up 16 runs. Dolphins pitching has been touched up a lot these last couple games. Still nobody out in there in this sitting. And it's Leon Lombardi at the plate. And Young Jr. will have himself an easy stolen base.
And he started running there far before Martinez even picked up his leg. Looked like maybe a missed call out.
Young Jr. now, that's his 5th stolen base. He's 5 for 6 on the season. As Lombardi hits that one foul.
And we see Young kind of standing there like a statue after he takes his lead, but he might be trying to trick the Dolphins a little bit here.
And I'd have to think about it because they have 11 hits in this game. I know not everyone on their team has gotten a base hit, but it feels like at least 7 of the 9 hitters for Caldwell in this game have gotten on base with a base hit in this one.
Certainly feels that way, and their lineup is very lethal, as we have talked about.
Count is 1-2 here for Lombardi. Try to avoid another strikeout right here. As Martinez checks the runner back at second base. Martinez allowed 4 runs on Sunday against Caldwell. He's already issued a run right here tonight. The 1-2. Lombardi hits that one into center. But Palomini will be under that one to make the catch. Tagging from second base is Young Jr., and he will just get there safely at third base as he advances on the sacrifice fly.
Well, good job there to at least move the runner over. And now a chance to get that ninth run in here.
And chance now for Liam James here to get his 5th RBI of the night. And now runner on third and just one away in the inning.
Got the right guy up if you're Caldwell here.
Now it misses for a ball, 1-0 the count.
The runner on third here, of course, makes it easy for James. All he's got to do is put the ball in the air and send it past the infield.
That should do it right there as well. Hit to Weigel at third. It forces Vigliotti off the bag, but he'll make the tag out at first base on James. Scoring is Young Jr., and it's now 9-2 Caldwell.
Yep, that short chopper with Young speed. He's going to score on that.
No RBI there, but another run scores. 9-2 lead here in the 8th.
Dolphins still down to their final 6 outs, but that error and now this inning right here, if it was a 3-run deficit, it's still very doable, but now down 7. Dolphins will need a lot to go their way in these next 2 innings if they want to get back into this game and potentially walk it off with a win. So we're going to have a pinch hitter right here with 2 outs.
Looks like Alan Hernandez is coming in to pinch hit here.
We saw Alan Hernandez on Sunday as well. Came in as a pinch runner, or I believe a pinch runner in a substitution in Game 1. Then started Game 2. He now comes in with 2 outs in the inning. See, he'll replace Sean Brown in the lineup. Maybe got a piece of that one. The count goes to 0-1. The 0-1. That one ripped down the left field line, but that will be a souvenir, and it will go back out onto the field. And the count goes to 0-2. Now, Nick, I'm assuming it's still pretty early to know this, but have they decided what day is as CSI night for 2025?
Should be probably the first Thursday in September if the Ferry Hawks are home, but I don't think their schedule is out yet.
As that one's going to drop in for an extra base hit. Alan Hernandez cuts himself off the bench. He's rounding second. He's into third base safely with a 2-out triple.
That's a big hit coming off the bench. If you're Alan Hernandez, you're getting super hyped up from your teammates right now.
The 12th hit of the night for Caldwell. They've just been all over the Dolphins pitching in this game. Stevan Cass now comes up looking for another RBI right here. He hits that one foul. Going back to the Ferry Hawks CSI night, we'll have to make sure that I keep my schedule clear, and I'm there for that night. So able to have one of the CSI nights here last year.
They should just do it in the spring and the fall.
Yeah. So I'm looking at their schedule right now to see maybe if they already have it out.
Sound the alarm.
Yeah,
something's going on here.
Something's going on in that other room next to us, but the Dolphins do get out of the inning here as Martinez gets the strikeout to retire the side. But not before Caldwell gets 2 more runs here at the top of the 8th inning. We head to the home 8. It's now a 9-2 lead for the Cougars. Back for the home 8 here. Now a 9-2 lead for Caldwell. Get 2 more runs in the top of the 8th inning, and a couple of changes as well for the Cougars here in this bottom of the 8th. The new pitcher is Matt Perez. We have a new second baseman, that's Alan Hernandez, who we saw pinch hit in that last half inning. And replacing at first base Liam James, it's going to be Oscar Fajardo as Bigliotti hits that one to short. Riddick will throw it onto the new first baseman Fajardo, and there's quickly 1 away.
Well, that's what you want to see if you're Caldwell. Nice efficiency there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Our broadcast partner Joe Foreman texted me from, I believe he's on the airplane, maybe in the terminal at least. He's, as we mentioned earlier, he's on his way to Buffalo, New York.
I hope he's watching the game right now.
He is watching the game. He's texting me along as before he gets on his flight. As I mentioned, he's going to Buffalo, New York to watch the men's basketball team and the women's basketball team in their semifinal matches respectively tomorrow. He's been a very busy man these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to women's basketball player Jenny Alarcon, named the ECC Player of the Year, and a great shot to be the Dolphin of the Year at the Finney Awards later this year. I know Sam's looking forward to those.
My first ones.
Yeah. Watch back the YouTube broadcast of the ceremony last year. Very fun time.
I'm definitely excited to dress up.
It's still at the Stad this year, right, Nick?
It's going to be in the gym.
It's going to be the gym now, okay.
I think that's the last I heard.
We were just Joe and I last year were discussing if I could maybe sneak my way into the Finneys last year.
Well,
because the Stadium's right by my house.
If it's at the gym this year,
to the gym, then, yeah, there's definitely might not be any doubt about that.
I'm sure Coach Calabrese will make his way there. Oh, building manager. As we got to walk there.
Waterman now comes up to the plate.
Leno worked a great at-bat there. Putting some more stress on the Caldwell pitchers.
As far as the Finneys go, I'm going to assume to be hosted by Joe Foreman and myself again. But we'll see.
Joe telling me he's in the terminal right now, so he is watching along the last couple of innings of this one.
Joe, let's get you on for the 9th inning. Brief cameo.
I don't think we've ever had a 4-man broadcast.
I don't think it's possible on this mixer, is it?
We do have a wire that I would have to call Joe through my phone.
But do we have a 4th slot on the mixer?
We do.
Okay,
yeah.
so we could do it.
It is possible.
We did one time back in the day. Not everybody Lou didn't have a headset, but we had him on with me, Joe, and Joe Masha, and that was a lot of laughs.
That one hit into center is a long run out at center field. Waterman's going to have himself an extra base hit, and that will bring home a run as well. Waterman rounding second. He's in the third base safely on an RBI triple, and the Dolphins now trail this game 9-3.
Waterman cranked that one to right center field, pulls into third easily with a triple, and the Dolphins, for the first time since the 4th inning, push a run across the plate. It's only a 6-run game now.
J.J. Hunter now comes up. Big spot. CSI trying to make this game a little bit more within reach going into the 9th inning. A now 9-3 contest off of that hit for Waterman. It misses inside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Here's a second look. Waterman, as you mentioned, Nick, that one kept carrying it out into right center field. It was just a few inches shy of maybe a home run ball right there. As Hunter hits that one foul behind the plate. And the count now goes to 1-1.
Nick, I just received word that after this half inning, you will be calling Joe, and he will be joining us on the broadcast.
So I think what's going to happen is we'll have to do exactly what happened on Tuesday, where we'll have to stop the stream for just a moment to get him sit. That way he can join us on the call. Hunter hits that one into center field. The catch is made out in center field, but the run will score as Waterman is in on the sacrifice fly from Hunter, And it's now a 9-4 game here at the top of the 8th.
Don't call it a comeback, but right now they're coming back. Joe says he's going to board the plane now, so forget about it.
Okay. I didn't think that was going to be possible. He told me originally that around this time would be his flight time.
He said they're boarding late. Long flight to Buffalo from Florida.
Yeah.
Now the question is, does Joe go and wipe out all the Buffalo Bills merch up in Buffalo and return home with that?
I mean, he could. So that one blooped down the third base line and is not caught by the third baseman.
Nice effort there by the third baseman.
Devin Cass, great attempt there. Almost a beautiful sliding catch. Didn't quite get it.
We saw before in the game, the Cass had that big single up the middle to really get things going.
And Jack Keogh hits that one into right center. That one's a long run, and that one is a one bounce off the wall. Keogh round second. He's going to third base. The throw to third base, not in time. A 2-out triple for Jack Keogh, and the Dolphins once again extend the inning.
Good piece of hitting there by Keogh, and he's on third now with a crucial at-bat coming up for Weigel.
And once again, it looked like right off the bat, initially it looked like the Dolphins were just a few inches shy of a home run. As Vincent Weigel now comes up, he's had a couple RBI chances in this game tonight. They really would love a hit right here. As he swings and misses on that off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1 the count.
That looked like a breaking ball that might have hung in there just a little too long, but
yeah, it looked like he was a little bit out in front of that one. Another breaking ball right there, misses for ball 1.
The fans are on their feet now behind the third base dugout in the stands. Exciting times here at St. University Hospital Park as the Dolphins are putting together quite the inning so far.
The 1-1. Misses in the dirt for ball 2. He can't find the ball. Here comes Keogh. He will score. And it's now a 9-5 game as Keogh scores on the wild pitch.
Keogh running hard, and he is in there safely.
Hop was having trouble finding the ball off of the bounce, and it allowed Keogh to score from third base.
you love that aggression there from Keogh. Very small window with Hop only turning about a foot behind him to get that ball.
He just got in there before the throw at the plate. It's now a 2-1 count to Weigel. And now make it 3-1. Dolphins have made this one interesting now here in the bottom half of the 8th. And Weigel extend the sitting here with a 3-1 count. He's a big swing and a miss for strike 2. Action is up in the bullpen for Caldwell. Looks like it's Ben Foote up in the pen. Perez here trying to get the final strike. Get out of this 8th inning. And he will get the final strike as Weigel is down swinging. Dolphins do bring home 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning and make this one a little bit more interesting as we head to the top of the 9th inning. Caldwell's lead now is 9-5.
The Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information.
1-0 And we are back for the top of the ninth inning. A now 9-5 lead for Caldwell. As the Dolphins get a 3 spot in the bottom of the 8th and now make it a little bit more manageable here in this top of the ninth. But if they want to get themselves a chance in the bottom half of the inning to tie or win the game, they will need a potential scoreless top of the ninth inning. And it's once again Christopher Martinez getting the mound here. He's quickly behind the count here, 2-0 to the left fielder Jimmy Kurtz. 7, 8, and 9 in this inning as well. And it's quickly 3-0. And, to your point, Sam, earlier about this team, when you see 7, 8, and 9, that's normally the spot in the lineup that, if you're a pitcher, that's the spot in the lineup you want to face. But with the way Caldwell has hit so far this young season as well tonight in this game, there really isn't an easy spot in this lineup to get outs. So it's going to be up to Martinez to make sure he can get some outs and give the Dolphins a chance.
Certainly, and having Kurtz at 7 is just such a benefit to Caldwell in general, as he fouls that one out of play. Because, coming into this game, let's see, he's hitting 500, and you have Rinnick 3 batters away, and Patino Jr. has been hitting the ball well too. There's no holes in this Caldwell lineup.
And that one misses on the outside for ball 4. So nice at bat right there from Kurtz. He gets himself a leadoff walk. Now bring up Hop. Kurtz has not had himself a stolen base attempt on the season. I don't think I expect him to do it right here in this spot. We'll see if Chris Hop can do something as they do check the runner. Kurtz is back in safely. Hop were able to get on. Patino Jr. is definitely going to bunt. As once again they check the runner. And Kurtz is back in safely. Dolphins could really use a double play ball as well in this spot. That one just going foul down the third base line. No one warming up in the Dolphin pen at the moment. They're hoping Martinez can get themselves out of this inning and keep it a 4-run deficit. Meanwhile, for Caldwell, they have no one warming up in their bullpen. But they did have Ben Foote warming up in the last half inning. As Kurtz is back in once again.
They're definitely playing with Kurtz a little bit here. That's the 3rd pickoff, if I remember correctly.
That's indeed right. So that one just misses inside for ball 1. Count now even to 1 apiece. There goes the runner, Kurtz, and the throw is offline from Hunter and into center field. Kurtz will get his first stolen base of the season, and now Kurtz is into third base off of the error.
Not what you want to see there. After you did prophesize that Kurtz would not steal, he ended up stealing, and the throw went wide, and now Caldwell's got a man on third.
Nobody out here, so Caldwell is still cooking here. Late at night, 8-10.
And the infield now moves in for the Dolphins, trying to prevent him from scoring. That one hit foul and out of play. And the count will even at 2. And you could see it right off of that throw from Hunter. That almost hit the runner, Kurtz, on his way to second base. A bit of an offline throw from the Dolphin catcher. Giving now Kurtz his first stolen base. Putting him into third base off the wild pitch. And that one's up the middle and through for a base hit as Martinez was not able to glove it. Off the bounce, RBI single for Hop, and Caldwell extends their lead now 10-5.
Just barely out of the reach for Martinez there. Almost a great play to keep the runner at third.
Caldwell right now, they may want to save some runs for tomorrow. Double digits now in the run column with 10.
Their 13th hit of the night. And you mentioned it, Nick. They have 2 more games tomorrow against this same Dolphins team.
Yeah, I think no matter what, we're probably going to see Martinez finish off this inning because Coach Moore has to save his pitchers for 2 more games tomorrow.
2 more as well on Sunday, as Waterman's able to make the catch out in left field, and there's now 1 away. That's something that I brought up with Aaron Cohen on Tuesday. The Dolphins had 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, another game on Tuesday. They then were supposed to play Wednesday against Lincoln. That game got postponed due to weather. And then they had 2 games tonight, 1 game tonight, 2 more tomorrow, and then 2 more on Sunday. So it's been a very busy week for the CSI baseball team.
Battle tested, to say the least, and obviously the Dolphins trying to get as many games in as possible as this field is available here to them because it's a great turf field here, and you rarely see a rain out here.
Thankful to have good weather the majority of the week. The only bad weather we really had was, I would say, Sunday, and that was due to the wind.
Yeah, the wind was rough on Sunday, especially in that second game.
It's been clear skies throughout the majority of the week, which has been good. Christian Riddick, the batter here for Caldwell, back to the top of their lineup. And he hits that one into right field for a base hit. Riddick is on with another base hit in this game. It's the 14th hit of the game for Caldwell, and it's first and second with still 1 out.
Yeah, that's going to bring Stephen Young Jr. to the plate. And you know he's licking his chops here with 2 runners on.
Junior's had himself a nice impact the entire week against the Dolphins, especially here tonight as well. He's got first and second, still 1 out in the inning. And as you mentioned, Nick, with still nobody owing up in the Dolphin bullpen, this is going to be Martinez's inning to get himself out of it. That breaking ball is in there for a strike, 0-1 to count.
Looks like on deck is number 30, Mundo Gonzalez, a freshman.
So a pinch hit for Lombardi if he's able to get the chance. That one hit into left center field. That one's going to drop in for a base hit. Here comes the runner from third, that being Hoff, and he will score. It's an RBI single for Young Jr. It's now an 11-5 lead for Caldwell.
So Young Jr. comes through there. And now Mundo Gonzalez will come to the plate, and he's got a chance to drive in some more.
He'll pinch hit for Leon Lombardi in this spot. Dolphins made this a 4-run game heading into this 9th. Trying to get themselves a chance in the bottom half of the inning, but now once again trailing by 6 runs as they're starting to make some work out in the bullpen as well. That one hits off the glove of Hunter, and now both runners will advance.
Looked like maybe a cross-up there. Hunter was not expecting a fastball up and to his left.
These last few innings have been tough for the Dolphins. 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and already 2 here in the 9th. And there's still only 1 out in the inning. A chance for Gonzalez to get 2 more in where the base hit. The count now goes to 1-1. Gonzalez still without an official at bat this season. This count goes 2-1. It's his 4th game played. He has scored a run. Yeah, stolen a base as well. Looks like he reached base via an error. His lone plate appearance of the season. The 2-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike, now 2-2. Two and two now the count here. That one hit foul down the right field line. It's been tough for CSI as well because if you think about it last Sunday, the pitching wasn't all that bad against Caldwell in those 2 games against the Cougars. But after what spiraled on Tuesday, a 16-run outburst from the Lions, Georgian Court, another 11th spot here, and now make it 12 as there's a wild pitch, and it's now 12-5.
Yeah, some would just say, you know I'm right when it comes to these things, but 2 games in a row giving up over 12 runs, over 11 runs, not what you want to see. And now the Dolphins have no choice but to get the bullpen going.
28 runs and potentially more the Dolphins have allowed these last 2 games. They still have 4 more games this upcoming weekend. As that one said foul.
And that will commence a mad dash of the track team who's currently working to fetch balls that land in the stands.
Yeah, good luck to them out there.
Are they working or are they looking to just get some souvenirs?
I do believe they are being paid.
Nice.
I think that was what we heard for softball and baseball. That one was hit down the right field line and foul. The rumor was that we were looking for people to work games and try to be like kind of what soccer does.
Ball runner.
Try to get a ball runner, yeah.
I mean, we had Patrick Fleming and Sloppy Steve Bonfield, 2 of the greatest ball runners in our history for soccer.
Haven't seen Steve in a while.
Yeah, I heard Steve might have got banned from the work list. We, of course, did a good job on PA last year, so hope to see Steve again soon.
He was
really
on
great guy.
He was. You're right. He was on PA. You know what? I remember now.
And last time I saw him, though, he was doing the book.
Yes.
For basketball.
Well, that last walk issued by Martinez is going to draw him out of the game, as the Dolphins will make a pitching change here in the top of the 9th. It's going to be Andrew Rosario coming in, it looks like, out of relief. I think we'll just keep it here for now. We'll talk about, I think, let's discuss, guys, the impact of CSI's basketball games tomorrow. We should, with, 2 big games, and I guess we'll start off with the women, Nick and Sam. The Dolphins, number 2 seed in the ECC standings, facing the 3 seed Mercy Mavericks in that game tomorrow. The Dolphins this season, when they played Mercy, I'm looking back at the record just to double check. Dolphins won both of their meetings with the Mavericks this season, so looking to complete the full sweep of Mercy this season and move on to the championship game.
Yeah, well, when you have the best player in the conference, you have to like your chances with Generally Salicon, Ambra Boosbear, second team ECC. Obviously, she's been really good this season. Dana Phelan, some good scoring. Lexa Carollo's been good as late. So I like their chances. And Sam, I'm sure there's a bit of a buzz back at Dolphin Cove about this basketball team this season.
Well, of course. And, most of the residents are trying to go to every game that they can, especially when it's on campus like this. It's a really special thing when you have a team that you can go out and represent and watch, and they succeed for your school.
I'm sure there'll be a watch party for not only that game, but of course the men's basketball game as well. As Dolphins taking on Damon University. The Dolphins lost both of their meetings to the Wildcats this season. This, of course, a rematch from their first round matchup last season in the ECC standings. So the Dolphins looking not only for revenge in that game, guys, but looking for revenge from this season's matchup and looking to do something that no team has been able to do this season. That's defeat this Damon Wildcats team.
Yes, and it's going to be a very tall task. Damon, there's a reason why they're undefeated and they are the best team ranking-wise, not only in the region but in the country. So not going to be an easy task for the Dolphins, but they had a big win on Wednesday night to get them here to the semifinals.
A huge win against Roberts Westlake in that game. Able to hold on in the late stages and move on into the semifinals against Damon tomorrow night. So I mentioned Andrew Rosario, now the new pitcher for the Dolphins here. And his first pitch he throws is hit into left. Waterman's on the run. He will make the catch. And that will bring him another run for the Cougars. A sacrifice fly will now make it 13-5.
13 runs. I mean, nobody saw this coming here. This is just an offensive explosion here for Caldwell.
Alan Hernandez says the batters. Fajardo who came in the last inning as a defensive sub. He was the one that hit the sacrifice fly there. And there goes the runner.
I don't know about that. Running with this lead.
Looked like he was
He got hit
actually
hit
by
by
that
the
one.
pitch. He got hit by the pitch. But yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Up by that many runs to still be stealing bases. That's a very interesting tactic right there.
It's certainly a fun one if you're Caldwell. Keeping their heads in the game here.
This is on the outside for a ball. Devon Cass, the batter here. They're very active in this game as well as the rest of this Caldwell lineup. 15 hits in this game by the Cougars. That's another thing, too, for the Dolphins. Not only did they allow 16 runs against Georgia Court, they allowed 12 hits in that game. 13 runs in this game off of 15 hits. The Dolphins want to really fix the mistakes that they've been currently having this past week. They really need their pitching to get back on track, considering that the Dolphins will start conference play in just 2 weeks' time. As Cass sets that one foul, and the count goes even at 2.
And the ricochet is nasty, and it goes into left field as the Dolphins have to track it down.
Count 2-2 with 2 away for number 22 in this Cougars lineup, Devon Cass. As you mentioned it earlier, Nick, you said Big Cass. I picked up on your reference. Took me a second to realize what you were saying. But
I knew you got it.
I got it off. I got it off the rip. Haven't heard that catchphrase in a while.
One of the great ones.
I'll be at MSG Monday night. I'll be in attendance as the count goes full.
Are you going to be with the Front Row Joes?
I will not. I actually was able to manage a suite ticket for that night. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I got very lucky. So
You got the hookup for the suite.
I did. I was able to manage a ticket with one of my friends that works with a partner at MSG as that last fly ball was into center field. And that will retire the side. Caldwell gets 4 more runs here in the top of the 9th. Dolphins coming to bat for their final 3 outs as they now trail this one 13-5.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
They were back for the home night. Dolphins down to their final 3 outs in this game. And unfortunately, Sam, now an 8-run deficit. They made it a 4-run contest heading into the top half of the inning, but a 4 spot for the Cougars has now given them an 8-run cushion.
8 runs is a lot, but I'm not going to say it's insurmountable by any means. As we've seen in this game, there's a lot of run scoring.
You never know. That is true.
Maybe the wind picks up a little more and the Dolphins start hitting it oppo in the air. You never know what's going to happen.
Ben Foote, the new pitcher for the Cougars in this bottom of the 9th inning, facing a pinch hitter in John Del Brito. He'll lead it off for the Dolphins. Expect to see a couple of pinch hitters in this inning for CSI. Brito pinch hitting for Johnny Bowman in this spot. This count goes 2-1.
Always good to get more guys, more at-bats, especially when they've been watching a long game like this one.
I believe we saw Ben Foote as well on Sunday. We did. Is that one in there? I believe Ben Foote started, or actually I'm wrong. He got the win in the first game of the doubleheader against CSI. He pitched 3 innings of relief, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. So very dominant performance for him out of the bullpen. So that one said foul.
It lands in the stands, but does not hit anybody.
That's
thankfully.
good. That's good to know. We don't want any. Yeah, we don't want any issues or any injuries this late in the late stage of this one. Thankfully, this ballpark is named after a hospital.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm sure there are people on standby in case of any injury.
Looks like we might have jinxed something here, unless.
I don't think so. I think there's just maybe an equipment issue. Looks like glove. Maybe he's looking for, or Foote, excuse me, he's looking for a new glove. Maybe I'm.
Looks like shoes.
No, he's fixing a cleat. Yeah.
I have not seen that one before.
You know, I will say that is definitely a first for me as well. I don't think I've ever seen someone change their cleat in the middle of an appearance out of relief.
Well, it looks like he does know how to tie his shoes, so that is.
Well, that's a good start.
Yes.
A very rare time being called because of this situation.
You have to wonder what prompted this shoe swap that we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. And I gotta say, Sam, as someone, it's been a long week of baseball. Obviously, I think for both of these teams, they want to get out of here quickly, and a delay like that's definitely not something they want to happen this late in this one.
Certainly not. You got to think maybe it's some sort of a wardrobe malfunction.
As I mentioned, considering the fact that they're playing once again tomorrow, the first game of that doubleheader kicks off at 3:30. This Burrito hits this one into left center. That one is a long run. That one's going to be an extra base hit. John Del Brito is on with a leadoff double to start the bottom of the 9th inning.
And it looks like the new pair of shoes might be tainted by the Dolphins, as that is a first hack swing after the new shoes are put on, gapped into left center.
And wouldn't it be something if the Dolphins get somewhat of a huge rally after that interesting development of the time being called due to the, wardrobe malfunction, as you put it, with the cleats.
We'll see if maybe the Dolphins' confidence is renewed here after they see that the pitcher lost faith in his old pair of shoes.
Well, brings us back to the top of the line for CSI, Michael Flashner. And he hits that one up the middle. Going to be a tough play for the second baseman, Hernandez. He'll have no play at first. And the Dolphins will have back-to-back hits to start off the bottom of the 9th.
I'm going to hold my tongue here, but here comes Polomini. That's all I'm going to say.
And it really stings now, Sam. And I hate to be like the Debbie Downer of this inning, but it stings that they gave up the 4 to start off this inning. If they were down 4 runs right now with this situation, it'd be really troubling for Caldwell to try to get themselves out of this one. Those insurance runs proving to be very huge right now in this game. This count goes to 0-1 to Palomini. Dolphins would love an extra base hit right here.
You have to think maybe as he swings and misses there. With an 8-run cushion, Caldwell might not be trying to put the game away as hard as they would be if it was a 4-run lead.
It does change up your strategy potentially for just a little bit. The Dolphins, as I mentioned, sore foot on Sunday. Maybe have changed their approach. Palomini hits that one into right field. Playable for Young Jr. He makes the catch. Tagging from third base is Brito. He will score. No throw to the plate. Sacrifice fly for Palomini. And it's now 13-6.
He lifted it, and he got the run in. And here's Vigliotti to see if he can keep things going here. The bottom of the 9th.
Dolphins down to their final 2 outs right here as Vigliotti comes up to the plate. 13-6 now the score here. As Vigliotti goes the opposite way into right field, Young Jr. makes the diving catch.
Wow.
A spectacular play out in right field by Stephen Young Jr. And the Dolphins are now down to their final out.
That ball carried, and Stephen Young, man, what a ranging catch.
What has he not done tonight, Sam, in
That's
this game?
That's a great question.
Great defense. Great offense as well. And CSI now is down to their final out. It's up to TJ Leno. As that one skipped in the dirt for a ball, 1-0 the count. As I mentioned, the next time we are live on the ECC Network will be next Tuesday back here at SIUH Community Park. The Dolphins take on Dominican University. First pitch of that game will be at 5:30. Dolphins are back in action tomorrow and Sunday on the road. They'll be at Caldwell tomorrow and then at Holy Family on Sunday. As Leno hits that one into right field, that one's in for a base hit.
Is that Leno's third hit of the night?
I believe that is his third hit of the game. Leno responsible for 3 of the Dolphins' 10 hits in this one as they extend it for another at-bat.
Way to have a night, TJ Leno.
Jaden Waterman comes up. We saw him get a triple his last time up. That went in there for a strike. And you know what the thing is, Sam, too? The Dolphins, it's been a rough night pitching for them, but the offense, we have seen it the last 2 games. The offense has been there for this team. But they need to fix their pitching woes if they want to have some chances this season to make the playoffs.
Certainly. When you have an offense here that can score 6 or more runs, the first thing you look at is what happened on the other side of the ball. And, of course, yeah, that's the game.
That'll be Waterman down on strikes, and that will do it from SIUH Community Park as Caldwell takes this one by the final of 13-6. But going back to that point, the Dolphins' problem last week against Caldwell was the inability to score runs. They scored 3 runs in their 2 matchups with the Cougars. On Tuesday, they scored 8 runs, but they allowed 16. Tonight, they scored 6, but unfortunately allowed 13, and they fall to now 2-9 in the season. Meanwhile, Caldwell now goes to a record of 4-1.
Yeah, the Dolphins definitely got their offensive spark they were looking for. It just came a little bit too late. They scored 2 runs in the first 7 innings, and it just wasn't enough to keep up with the Caldwell offense, who has been lethal this year.
And the Dolphins, we saw in the first couple of innings of this game, especially for Ryan Keogh, he was cruising past this Caldwell lineup. But once that 4th inning kick started, really an unfortunate sequence of events for the next 2 innings, was 1 strike away in the 5th inning from getting the Dolphins out of a bases-loaded jam. He gave up a bases-clearing double to Liam James, and that's where this game opened up for Caldwell, and they would not look back, and they would hold on to the lead from there on there. As the Dolphins now drop their 5th straight game and fall to 2-9 on the season. Sam, your final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
Had a great time. This is a beautiful ballpark.
Yes.
I'm going to give a shout-out to my friends and family in San Diego. I miss home. It's very cold here. But,
yeah, it's
I'm
tough.
having fun. I'm living out my life goals, so shout out to College of Staten Island and College of Staten Island track team. I'll be back soon.
Yeah, hope we'll definitely plan out your schedule for the rest of this baseball season and make sure we can get you back on at some point during this baseball season for another one of these baseball contests, as we will transition sooner rather than later back to the CSI baseball complex. So it will be a little bit easier for you to make your way towards the baseball complex instead of having to travel out here to St. George here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. But once again, the final score, there's zeros now on the board, but the final score in this game, Caldwell wins it by a final of 13-6. They go to 4-1 this season. The Dolphins drop to 2-9. As I mentioned, next time we're live here on the ECC Network, upcoming on Tuesday, where the Dolphins take on Dominican University right back here at SIUH Community Park. But as well, folks, for our CSI basketball fans as well, make sure to tune in to the ECC Network tomorrow afternoon into the evening at 2:30. The Dolphins women's basketball team will take on Mercy University in their semifinal matchup of the ECC playoffs. Meanwhile, the men's basketball team will take on Damon University at 5:30, with a chance for both of those teams to move on into the championship game. But from all of us here on CSI Sportsnet, for Nick Bavona, for Sam Whalen, for Nick Durst, and for all of us here on CSI Sportsnet, we thank you for tuning in to tonight's coverage between the Dolphins and the Cougars. We'll see you back here on Tuesday when the Dolphins take on Dominican University.